Hello. I am so sorry for the delay. My computer has just literally decided that it is going to be the slowest hunk of junk in the galaxy. So bear with me. I've sent Wayne the link and everything, so I'm just waiting for. There he is. Look at that. And there he is. Look at that. Boom, straight in. Right.
We're live already. Oh my God.
This laptop, I tell you. The thing is, it's a really good laptop, but for some reason, the kittens decided I'm going to sleep on this because it is made of wool. I'm going to walk all over this, and then I shut it down because you get walking all over it, and then I've restarted and it's gone. No, sir. No. Oh, I like your necklace.
It glows in the dark.
I don't want to know about your penis. What about your necklace?
It glows in the dark.
What is it? Is it a dragon? Just a dragon wrapped around a staff?
Sword.
Oh, I like that. It's different. Yeah. Oh, he do. Oh, he does. Oh, he likes that. Oh, he does. Right. Hang on.
I've had it for a number of years. It's just while we were sorting out the house, ready to move it down to the new house, I found it again.
Oh, hang on. It's always the way, isn't it? When you're looking into all your stuff, you find it. Oh, bloody hell! Hello, Kerry. We have Miss Kerry Greenaway in the room there. Hello. Do you know oh, hi, Joe. You all right? I've had message after message after message. Is something wrong? Is the show on tonight? Have I missed it? And I'm no, I'm just trying to get my bloody laptop working.
No one messaged me.
Shame on you. Message him. You can see how distraught and hurt and upset he is. Anyway, how are you? What have you been up to?
Yeah. Hang on, I'll show you.
Oh, fun!
Who is that?
Well, that's all the stuff up there. Look, it's all gone off, and we're all starting to tidy things up. Halfway through painting upstairs bedroom, the master bedroom.
The master bedroom.
The master bedroom. Me and
you see, ladies and gentlemen. No. Ladies and gentlemen, he now thinks he's Lord of the Manor. He's now got himself a little natty hat and a tailed frock coat. And he says to Ellen, "Come, wench, we shall retire to the bedroom, the master bedroom. There is much baiting to be done."
There we go.
See? Look at that.
No, it just looks stupid.
So what have you been up to, apart from obviously packing?
Nothing all else, really, to be honest. Been on a few live feeds during the week with Simply Spooky and Paranormal Path. I sort of was commenting on a few things on there because something came up during the Paranormal Path live feed. Which is something we are going to cover today or cover tonight. And it obviously when you mentioned it to me earlier on about the YouTube video, it reminded me of what we'd been talking about during the week. And I've managed to speak to the guy who took the photo. And he said, I asked him for permission to use the photo because I didn't want to show people without his permission because it's obviously it's his picture. And he was more than happy to allow us to do it. So I have a picture, but what we're going to do is we'll go through.
Talk about stuff first.
The other things first, and then I will show that last because I find it very strange that obviously we've been to, you mentioned it to me about the YouTube video, and at the same time have been talking with this guy about what he's experienced and what the possibilities behind it could have been. So it was all quite weird to have this conversation with him and then have you mention to me about this YouTube video, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy has seen a very similar thing here in the UK, and
Yeah.
yet the other things are overseas. So I thought, well, that's pretty cool. So I looked into that a bit more, and so
And
I
they've got
mean, on that
everybody-
side of things, that's all I've been doing. The rest
Yeah.
of it's all been getting this house sorted out and the tenancy agreement signed and all the other bits and bobs. And I'm thinking, right, I've only got a week left here now. We move out on the 25th, so I'm hoping that. Well,
Oh, hi, Billy.
I think I'm going to have a few late nights coming up because
I reckon you will, mate.
halfway through the main bedroom, getting that ready, and then obviously I've got all the rest of the house to do as well. Things like Ethan's bedroom wall is one wall of nothing but green and brown camouflage. So I've got two choices: 4 coats of paint, or sand it down first and then paint it. Either way, I've got my work cut out.
Before I forget, Mr. Robert, I was talking to him in the week, and I said, anytime you want to come on, and obviously he doesn't want to do 4 hours at a time because that was a long ass show we did last week, but brilliant.
Yeah.
And he said himself it was absolutely amazing. He liked the way that we talk about the same stuff when we're on the same wavelength, etc., etc. And I said to him, well, if ever you want to come along and be like a guest presenter or whatever, you're more than welcome to. And he said literally anytime we want him on the show, just let him know beforehand, and he'll make sure that date's free, and he'll join us. So that's
Cool.
That's a really good one. And tonight we have Joe, we have Jolene, we have Nicola, we have Maria, we have who else? We got Kerry, Andy, Chris. We have got so many people in the room tonight, and it's nice to see you all. Hello, thank you for joining us. If you didn't see last week's show, you missed a belter. That's all I'll say. I'm going to put that up on YouTube over the weekend because I'm not going to go into details on here. Wayne knows what's happened. There's been a lot of stuff's happened with my family over the week, not nice stuff. So I've been very busy driving down to Somerset and back, and getting my daughter and my grandchildren and bringing them back up here. In fact, you might see them later because they're around my other daughters at the moment, and they're probably all going to come back through here and be loud as anything. So yay! But so I've not had time to put last week's show up, but I will be putting it up on YouTube this weekend. And as I say, although it was 4 4.25 hours?
I think it was something like 4 hours, 20 minutes.
Yeah, but it was a belter, wasn't it? We covered everything we normally cover, and then stuff we don't normally cover. And then we were talking to somebody who had gone through a family member being abducted. I can never say that word. Abducted. Alien abduction, and what the results were, what the end results were. There was a UFO crash seen by the same family members, and we interviewed them, didn't we? Well, we interviewed the son. Absolutely amazing guy.
And
absolutely amazing.
It interested me quite a bit because he said about obviously going back to the place where they seen this crash, and the road itself and the bridge that was there was still closed off after all these years. They did not reopen it.
That's weird in itself, isn't it?
I mean, normally, it's a case of, something crashed there, fix the road, get it reopened again because it's a main route or something. No, not even bothered. They just kept it closed, and so it just becomes a big footpath.
Yeah, it was
quite a good one.
Absolutely amazing show,
and he still has more to come because we are going to be talking with him again about all things ghosts.
Yes.
So,
because as you know, we may be covering UFOs and stuff a lot lately because everybody seems to be into the UFOs, but we do all the paranormal. Literally do all the paranormal. Because the paranormal...
yes, because we were on the Bigfoot as well, weren't we? We were on the Bigfoot podcast. So,
and then we were on, what was that? Simply Spooky, wasn't it?
Spooky, with Viv and Dan.
And we've got next week there will not be a show because I will not be here because I will be dressed up as Riff Raff and I will be at the Rocky Horror Picture Show on their world tour. So,
that is absolute disgusting behaviour.
I was invited by my daughter. She went out and bought all the tickets, and I've got the costume. I'm going to have the long blonde hair, the makeup done. I've already got the bald, but I've got the bald cap with the long blonde hair. I've got the tail frock coat that I've got to put a hump in, and I've got to put a white shirt on, and I've got spats and everything, and we're all going, and it's going to be awesome. And my young lady is coming with us as well. So Miss Rachel, who I am, yes, I'm no longer single, is coming as well. So yes, I did that.
Actually,
I fell off.
I do tell a lie. I have been busy, in a sense.
Go on. What are you up to?
Right, we are having an application developed. We don't normally, on Truth Beyond Paranormal, we don't normally use apps, but we have found one particular app that we do like.
Yeah.
And we are having an app developed for the show, which will be specifically for Truth Beyond Paranormal, and then will be available through the Play Store.
Could the Dark Mirror show possibly use it as well?
Well, anybody can just download it. Anybody will be able to download it from Google Play Store, but it will just have our TVP logo on it. So, but it's basically it's based on the Ovilus.
Is it like the one we use?
It's very similar to that one, but we just wanted it straight laced. We just wanted words to come up on screen, and we've been told that the one we'll use will have the words come up on the screen, and it will be spoken as well. So, the viewers will be able to see and hear it as well. So, it will be specifically designed for Truth Beyond Paranormal. So, for the last couple of days, I've been talking to the guy that's going to be doing it for us. And he seems to do a lot for a lot of other groups as well. So we thought we'll help push him out there a bit more by promoting him as well. And he's going to do it for us. So that's been pretty cool. And stepping forward now, I'm off down to Rochford Hall near Southend tomorrow night. Home of the Boleyn family. To do we're going to be shadowing.
I've got fake snow all over my t-shirt from the Christmas tree. And I thought, my God, my dandruff's bad. Nope, it's fake snow from the Christmas tree.
We can't even put ours up yet because there's no point.
Hang on. I put mine up and wrapped the presents and put it under the tree because something happened to my granddaughter and she needed cheering up. So, there you go.
Stanky cat.
Christmas tree and presents.
Ugh.
Oh, and a Christmas ghost. That's a Christmas ghost ass. There's a Christmas ghost. Hello, Christmas ghost.
That's the ghost of Christmas present.
Ghost of Christmas present. And she's guarding the tree and presents as well. All right. There you go.
But so we got that going on. So that's going to be quite interesting because this the team that I'm going to be going down.
Oh, what the hell?
You've turned into a circle, Mark. What's going on?
Oh
dear.
Hang on. Bear with me.
Bear
with me.
Doing some bad stuff. Yeah.
Just this bloody thing. Come on.
Oh,
right.
back.
Is that the correct camera? Yes, it is. Right.
Yeah. So this thing tomorrow night, we're actually going to be. I'm going to be watching how another group do their investigation.
Hi, Ramba.
So that'll be quite interesting. So it was nice to actually be thought of. They've invited me down there, along with fellow director from Haunted Roses. We're just going to go down there and have a nice night.
It's actually nice, isn't it, when you watch other groups at work. Next Saturday. I'm going down to that one I invited you to as well. Tudor World.
Yeah.
Tudor World in Stratford upon Avon. I'm working in conjunction with another team, the Dark Mirror team, because we've got our own team. It's our first ever proper investigation. So the Dark Mirror team is working in conjunction with another team.
The thing is, I've always been happy to work with anybody within reason. I won't work with anybody if it's about their egos. Oh, look what we're doing, look what we can do.
I don't know.
I'm just not into that. I'm quite happy just standing there with other teams, watching what they're doing, and with some teams, they've only just started up, and one team I started working with, Ghouls Aloud. The owner of it's basically an all-female team.
I kind of gathered that when it's called Ghouls Aloud.
And the owner or the boss, Lynn, she used to come on a lot of Essex Paranormal Groups public events, and during the course of the event, she would ask me questions about how to do certain things within the investigations and everything else. And then she started up her own group. And as a result, both me and Ellen, we will go to some of their events and we'll help out as team members on their events. Now, we could very easily just turn around and say, you know, we're not interested. We've got our own group. We stick with that. But me and Ellen would rather help other teams and help groups if they're men down and they need people to help them out. We're quite happy to go in under their banner and work for them.
Yeah.
And as a result, we get on with these people, and that's how it should be. You know, that's the whole idea. Why we do this? We're all looking for the same answers. So therefore, you go out there, you do the job, and if you get a result, then brilliant, because it's there. I don't have time for all this. Oh well, you know, we're getting one up on you lot, and you're doing this, and we're doing that. I couldn't care less. I'm doing what I'm doing, and I enjoy doing it. So, you know, if you can help other people, then you do so.
The group I'm doing it with is PPR, and funny enough, it's another Wayne. You may have heard of him, Wayne Bobble.
Yes,
Bobble Mr. Bobble Hat. Known him a while. Good friends with the family, and again, same thing. Started up their own thing and has asked, how do you ask for help, and I've helped him along with that, and they're doing really well now. So, and I said, all right, I'll get the Dark Mirror team, and we'll come down and we'll do our first investigation with you. I've also been asked, I can't say too much on here, but I thought you might be interested. A friend of mine has a house that they rent out to people. Focus. Right. And it's haunted to buggery, and they've had lots of accounts of things happening. It's a private thing, but once you've moved, if you would like to come down, and you can you guys can all come down, spend a weekend, or you and Ellen, or whatever, come down and investigate a haunted house in Yorkshire, and you don't have to pay anything, because they want to see the results that we get, and all they ask is, can they be in there when we do it, just to see what we do.
Sounds like.
And we're allowed to take some lives and take some pictures and broadcast whilst we're doing it, but it'll be a private thing that just does.
I think that's where, I mean, I put a post on my Facebook the other day about thanking everybody for all the support that's been given over the years. Because if it wasn't for everybody else supporting me with what I do, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. I'm in a situation where I can just turn around. My mum and dad wanted to retire from the coach company, so we just said, fine, shut it down, don't need it.
Look.
So
Look at the size. Remember how small he was?
So obviously now we've closed the business down, I can work from home. So I'm now more available to do all of this. This is now my job. I don't do anything else. And I'm loving it, because I can sit at home, I can be with my kids, I can write my books, I can do all my live feeds, and then on weekends I can go off out and do investigations and whatnot with other teams and so on and so forth. It's just made things so much easier, and
it helps.
I'm in awe of the support that's been given, and I love it.
Told you, dude. Told you. No, I was just showing you, Bob, how big he is compared to what when he sat on my hand. Bob is huge. Hello. Hello. Hang on. There you go. Look, it's got the shiny head. See? Some of the panels for a sex machine here.
He wants his bot. I think he's more interested in his milk than anything else.
I don't blame him. I'd be more interested in having my milk than talking to me. So, but that's what I was trying to show you, Bob. How small he was to now.
Hello, Bob.
He's a bit bigger than he was, and you. Hello,
Bob the bitty cat.
Bigger than he was. In fact, I've just noticed he's so much bigger. His balls are nestling on my hand. Oh,
Oh no,
oh, dude, they're
I
coming
must
off.
admit, you saying that I've got my hand underneath Freddie's bum as well. Creepy.
Anyway. Yes, so that investigation in Yorkshire at a private residence, I will let you know. What move first? Let me know, and then we'll sort something out. Right.
Okey-dokey.
This week, for those of you who are watching and going, what on earth are they going to talk about this week? It is going to be UFOs again. Yes,
Really?
it is, because do you remember when we were talking to Robert and we were saying that UFO sightings have gone and they've really got stupidly spiked and
What? What are you on about? Sorry.
The glue.
That's in one of the boxes. Oh, don't worry about it now. Use one of your other ones. Use big one. That's been one. Nothing like disturbing a live feed, is it? Eh? You know, it's like Jarvis Cocker jumping on stage while Michael Jackson
flashing his ass at the camera when Michael Jackson was on.
Isn't it just? Thanks, Jarvis.
To be fair, she hasn't flashed her ass, so.
Oh, Freddie.
He's rumbled his ass.
My legs just vibrated. Oh, never work with children.
You know what? I went down to Somerset. I drove down to Somerset and back yesterday. 10 hours of driving, and I brought Becky, Harper, my granddaughter. Becky's my daughter. Harper, my granddaughter, and my youngest grandson, Noah, up. Right? Noah's only that big, and he literally looks like a baby elf. He literally looks like a baby elf. It's cute. And he was on the sofa, and I'm telling you now, Taylor was there, Sheldon, her other half was there, and he let rip a fart that he drew both his knees up on as he did it, and literally we all went, "What the hell?" And it sounded like something I would do, or even the dog on a good day. Yes, I know.
Freddie did that the other day, and we had to label it a daddy fart.
Yes, where were we? UFOs. We talk about UFOs a hell of a lot because it's got stupid. This year, the last half, isn't it, of this year?
Yeah.
Sightings have gone astronomical. And
it's increased. I think it's increased something like 125%.
And we were talking earlier, weren't we? About. I'd say, what would you say the percentage of misidentification fakes would be? 70%, 75%?
I think it's something about 70-75%.
Yeah. But the sightings that aren't CGI, aren't made up, and just aren't misidentified, is the stuff that we're interested in. And there's some of the stuff that we've seen and we've talked about in previous shows are like, oh. And then this week, this is what we were going to come into. I got a hold of Wayne and said there's been 2 sightings, one in South America and one in Russia, of what they believe, the people who filmed it, are motherships. And when you see the videos, it's either a series of UFOs in a formation in a cloud, or it's one.
It's that mysterious floating hand.
How dare she? Or
Are
we sponsored by Greggs? Okay. Sponsored by Jam Shed Malbec red wine. Tastes just like the jam in Jammy Dodgers. Anyway.
Sponsored by Pandas.
Fuck off. Sponsored by Greggs, the chewy northern treat.
Oh yeah. Quick, while we're talking about Greggs Festive Bakes, 22nd of this month.
Yes. We've literally, when you come up, you will see I've got a Greggs 5 minutes from here, literally next to the garage. And they went, have you got them? No, not yet.
22nd of November. They pushed it back this year, but they're also doing pigs in blankets.
Oh, Toby Carvery are doing foot-long pigs in blankets. Toby Carvery. Sponsored by Toby Carvery and Greggs and Jam Shed Red Wine.
Did you reckon we should get commission?
The foot long, you can savor. Anyway.
Bacon around it.
Yeah, it's got bacon right around it and everything, yeah. As we I love the way he's got a Greggs cup and he's like, I'm just gonna sip my Greggs.
There was a cat hair in that.
I'm surprised I haven't got any wine actually. But
the weird thing is I can tell which cat it came from as well.
Do you lick your cats regularly?
No, I've got 4 cats and I could tell you exactly what cat that hair came from.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it yourself. He has 4 pussies. He licks them regularly. Is that why whenever I come up and see you and you make a cup of tea, you're standing there at the worktop going, and you just it's just a hairball?
Yeah.
Ellen, you need to invest in Bic. Right.
Anyway, regards to this video,
yes.
The first one was South America.
Right.
And when they analysed it, these people that were doing the video, they were looking at different possibilities. And the first instinctive thing
about the thing dropping off and everything.
Yeah, and the thing was, when I first saw the video, I thought exactly the same thing. Because the sky's quite cloudy.
Yep.
There is a layer of cloud across the top. Yep. And these 4 lights, and I will show you them here.
That's it.
The 4 lights are seen. Now, this little one here actually dropped to ground level.
But if you look, light reflects off the bit that was left above it.
Well, to me, I mean, this is the reason why I thought at first it could well have been flares. But military flares are not that big.
No, I've been on exercise where you're same as you. You know, so even when they use flashbangs light up the sky and that's it. But military flares, no.
They estimated that those balls of light had to have been about 5 to 6 miles away.
Yeah.
Now, if they were right underneath them lights would have been absolutely huge. And there's not one single flare in this world that is that big.
Not even a pair from the 70s.
No. But that small one dropped to the ground, and it looked like, because a lot of flares, some of the flares, they have parachutes on the top, don't they, which allows them to be suspended in the sky for a lot longer. And to me, when I saw the 4th one slowly start and then all of a sudden build up speed to the ground, I instinctively thought, it's a flare dropping. You see the smaller ball of light at the top. And to me, that looked like it had burnt through the cables, and the parachute had caught fire, and the rest of the flare had just dropped down.
I get you.
But the actual chute at the top, if that was the case, was burning for quite some time, because you see it sort of pulse, and then it goes out completely just as the other bit hits the ground.
As it goes out, if you watch, you'll see it go, and it starts to go up, because I watched it 3 or 4 times, and it goes back up.
And the other 3 didn't move.
No, they didn't.
They stayed stationary.
And flares, as you know,
it's gravity. Yeah. Even a flare on a parachute, gravity dictates, and it would still drop down. But those 3 lights.
Hey Gary, hiya Wayne, you all right, mate? Yeah.
So you can't say we know it's not flares because
it wasn't CGI.
Those were too big.
It wasn't. Right. What we'll say to everybody, I'll put have you got the link to it? Can you put the link to the video up in the chat room?
Well, the video's on your timeline, so I'll copy it.
Please, yeah. This video we're talking about, this first bit we're talking about was the South American one. There is a low cloud bank. 5 miles away, was it? The video was taken from?
It's about 5 to 6 miles away from where the camera was.
And you need to watch the light on the right. There's 4 lights, and they're on the same level. They go around, and this light on the right, something comes down, comes off it, and drops away. And you can see whatever the thing was that dropped it, the light from the thing that's underneath reflects off the bottom of the thing that's still there. And then if you watch it, you'll see the thing that dropped it goes whoop and goes back up. And then the second bit was filmed in Russia. Similar formation, totally different light color, and it acted differently as well. And then we have another one, which isn't.
Well, That third one, actually, hang on, bear with. That third one is actually a little bit more. The second one.
Hiya, Ellen. Ellen's watching us as well.
Yeah, well, where she is at the moment, she can only hear it. Right, let me get to the. But yeah, the second one they actually described as a city.
Oh, is that right? Ah.
They've said it's a city. Right.
Hiya, Ellen. Ellen's watching us as well.
There we go. Right.
I just need.
The link is now up there. Right, let me get back to that photo.
Oh, apparently Wayne Seddon is watching us, or Wayne Seddon.
I am I? Oh, right, that's pretty cool.
Apparently you're watching us, and Rebecca Collins is watching us as well. Ooh.
Do you know what? I get everywhere. You know.
And Wayne Huffman, Sheldon's dad, is watching us as well, and he does like the UFOs and the unexplained stuff.
Okay, so this Russian one was actually described as a city, and they do claim that I think it was something like 1800 years ago, something similar appeared over China, something similar appeared over Russia before, and it has been regularly said and stated over since that first recorded incident. It has happened again and again and again in different places of the world, and this is the recent one from Russia. There
you are. And this thing, if you compare it to the ground below and compare it to the size of the lights below, and you are talking sodding great big thing. That's technical term for big, sodding great big thing.
City type.
Yeah, and I can remember a couple of years ago there was another city seen in the sky. Now, I think it was over Saudi Arabia, and they thought it was, that thing where you get the reflection, basically a city near the sea, and then it reflects up, and it
like a mirage.
Yeah, like it can reflect in clouds miles away, and then they worked it all out, and they said no, it couldn't possibly have been. So,
It does make you wonder. There was another one on there which I found it quite funny. It was quite amusing because they were saying, "Oh, it's a hot air balloon. It's an advertising banner."
Oh, is that the looks like a bloke? That was over here. Yeah, the trouble is like I like the videos these people put up. I'm not going to mention any names or anything. They do sometimes do some good interviews, but predominantly they're always trying to plug their crappy music. They're always trying to plug the music that they make, and then they put their cheesy music over the top of the videos, and they have the wildest ideas about what this stuff is. And then you'll get the sensible one who comes in and goes, "No, actually, no. It could be this, it could be that. It's not that at all." So you have to pick and choose. But they do bring some good videos out. I'll give them that. They get some really good videos out.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen quite a few of them, and I'm like, yeah, some of these you could sort of pass off and
when
say.
The two brothers start arguing, and you've got the one who goes, "Oh, it's this and it's that," and the other one goes, No, I think it might be. And then you get the other one who comes in and goes, "Actually, I think," and you're like, "No, just what are you doing?"
Yeah, I mean they're all right.
Like us, isn't it?
They are pretty good videos. Now this third one, if I can find exactly where it was, there it is. But right now, this was taken from somewhere called Bamberg Castle. I will give credit to the guy that took this photo. Kevin Jackson is his name.
Yeah,
and this is at Bamberg Castle in Northumberland.
Very good, very clear, but it's not the same formation, is it?
No, but it's 4 lights in the sky.
And all the others were as well, weren't they?
So, to be honest, the way I'd see it was that it's still lights in the sky. There's
very clear.
Four of them, just like the Mexico, the South American one. Okay, they're not in a line, but the camera view's been taken from a different angle. If he was sort of to the right or to the left a bit, then they would appear to be.
No,
the
I
straight
get
line.
it. But you get
It's
that.
like looking at the pyramids. You know, if you're in the right angle, you can get all pyramids all lined up together.
It's like looking at those black triangles that you and I, we all saw that night at Rendlesham Forest.
Yeah.
To us, they were like the size of a Toblerone block, one there, one there. But when you looked at it properly, these things were huge.
I mean, I was sent a photo through Messenger, and I had a look at it, and it was quite blurry. At the version that was sent to me was quite pixelated, and obviously I then went to the original, the photographer that took the picture, and it was on a few Facebook groups, and some of the comments that were coming back. You know, oh, it's Chinese lanterns. Well, you wouldn't let a Chinese lantern Chinese lanterns off during the day. Someone asked quite a reasonable question: was that, are you actually taking the picture through a window, and those lights are the reflection of the main lights behind them? He was on the battlements of the castle when he took the photo. So again, you've got a story of what he's got. He was on the battlements. He saw the 4 lights. He took the picture. If it had been me, I would have gone with a video rather than just picture. I would have actually put it onto the video camera and actually filmed these 4 objects. But I know there are 9 RAF bases in Northumberland. And there's one literally, I think, 20 miles down the road. So it is quite possible that because they use the coastline as a navigational tool without using satellite radar systems, they would use the coastline as a flight path. So it could have been 4 planes in formation heading down to the RAF base, which is south of the castle. So you get so many different possibilities and so many explanations. The only true person that is going to be able to say what he saw and believe what he saw is the person that took the picture.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything else is going to be down to speculation, and everybody else will analyse it and go, oh, well, it could be this, it could be that, and it could be this. But unless you were actually there, you're never going to be able to confirm it. And
tell me, one thing
I think it's pretty cool.
I think it's quite convincing as well. What's your personal opinion on the other 2 videos?
That Russian one is very strange,
isn't it?
I mean, it's just the fact the size of it. You know, there's all those lights there.
Huge.
They're quite high up.
Yeah.
But hello, what's happened there? I think someone's watching in on me somewhere along the line. My iPad had just gone to my camera and other settings.
We had that tonight with my bloody laptop. It literally, my laptop, I've restarted it 3 times, and this thing has got 16 gig of RAM, new motherboard, new hard drive, everything, and it just went no. And every time I tried to log in to the Dark Mirror so we could start this, it went no. And this has been since last week. I still think it's because my kitten decides to warm his ass on the keyboard.
But yeah, I mean, that Russian one is just due to the size. I mean, that's got to be the best part of 15 miles across.
It was huge, wasn't it? And that's the one you said that they talk about and say it's a city, a floating city.
Yeah. The Mexican one, that to me is either a drop off or a pickup.
Do you know what? Yes, isn't it?
Simply because that 4th one drops down, and obviously, if you guys in the chat room, you click on the link there and actually.
The link hasn't come up in the chat room.
Huh?
The link hasn't come up in the chat room, mate. Oh, what did you do, Wayne? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wayne Seaton will be back in a minute. Technical difficulties his end. The men in black are watching him. He is now being probed as we speak. He's either going to come back with a smile on his face or he's not going to come back at all. Here he is. Does he have a smile on his face? Let's have a look. He's got a smile on his face. He was probed. Look at that.
It went.
Black. It's the men in black. Ooh, and look. Men in
On
black.
it does come up on the comments there. I had the link has come up. Joe Max put one in there as well.
I'm going to come out and come back in again. And there it is. It's my. Do you know what? It's something weird going on. Yeah, it's there now. Now I come out and come back in again. There's the links, both of them, yours and Joe's. Thank you, Joe. And Joe and Andy are members of the Dark Mirror research team. They always post things up in the background, so I give them a shout. They are our unseen heroes. Thank you.
God, he's doing it again. There we go.
Oh, you're out of sync.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. I don't know what was happening there with that link because it weren't coming through properly. But yeah, I mean, as for that Mexican one, it just seems a bit strange. We know for a fact that there's no flares that big, and 3 of them stayed where they were when the other one just pops down and you can still see something's there. And like you said, it does a little U-turn right at the bottom as it gets to ground level. Yeah. It just flicks back up again, and then it just disappears altogether. Yeah. So to me, it says that's either a pickup or a drop-off. I would go with drop-off.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's South America again.
Yeah.
And what were we saying the last 2 weeks? What were we saying about South America?
Well, South America seems to be a sort of a hotbed at the moment.
The rest, North America and the rest of Europe's like.
I think it's because the South American countries are more acceptable of it.
Yeah. Their governments, especially.
Their governments they haven't been hiding it as much as the likes of us and the Americans. So that would explain the reason why there's more of it.
Before I forget, apparently somebody turned off North America and turned it back on again, and now it's working properly. And there is going to be another disclosure report coming, and they're going to be a little bit more honest because my sources tell me that certain people that were to do the report, they weren't happy. And they got bollocked big time because they went that, and we're gonna do it again. We did it last week. We'll do it again. They said we have crashed UFOs. We have downed UFOs. They stated they have downed UFOs. They stated they have non-crashed UFOs. They stated they have been in contact with biological entities. They stated they have the remains of the crashed victims from the crashed aircraft, biological entities. But they also said in the same damn thing, although we can say it don't come from any known civilization here on Earth, we can't say it's alien and it comes from outside of Earth. And it was that everybody's gone, excuse my language, what time is it?
Yeah.
Fuck off. Absolute bollocks. Wayne, where's Wayne gone? His camera's gone. Plug your camera back.
Bear with.
Yeah, that's right. And it was that bit, and we spoke about it last week and the week before on several occasions. That little bit where they all said, "Oh, we've got all this technology. We are reverse engineering technology from downed UFOs. Blah blah blah. We are working alongside biological entities, but we can't say that they come from outside of the realm of Earth."
Yep.
You've just said
basically the whole statement was hypocrisy.
Yeah, wasn't it?
They stated
we have all this. We don't know where it came from.
Did a complete U-turn on it. So everything that they were coming forward with, they were actually going backward with because they were counteracting each other.
Yep, and they made themselves look like a laughingstock.
Yeah. So now they've got to do it all over again. Because
certain powers that be, I can't go too far into it, but certain powers that be have gone, stop it. Three-quarters of the world has gone, there are UFOs, there are people, there are travelers from other realms. They know, we know, they know we've got the technology. It's about time we came clean because otherwise people are going to have no faith in any government. And to be absolutely honest, I don't have any faith in any government anyway, apart from the South American ones. Not on their policies or anything like that, but purely on the way they handle extraterrestrials, biological entities, UFOs, USOs, whatever you want to call them. But they deal with visitors from elsewhere with friendship and kindness. The rest of the world doesn't. So, and that to me makes a lot of difference. Hey, James. We're just talking about the new disclosure that is supposed to be coming, but it's. Have you noticed it's US disclosure, and England's gone, oh, and it literally England's gone, oh.
Yeah, I think it's a case of when one nation actually starts being honest and tells its people that that's what's going on, then everybody else will start following suit.
That's what we said, wasn't it? And who was it? And which government was it said that they were going to do real for China?
China
on
was
that
the one
website that vanished. Yeah, the Chinese have said they are going to go full disclosure.
I think that at the moment, though, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. Full stop, because you had the other day. You had, 2 times now, the International Space Station has had to take evasive action. All of the inhabitants of the space station have had to get in their return pods ready to come back just in case all hell breaks loose. The first time was courtesy of the Chinese. So the International Space Station had to be moved quickly out of the way. And the second time, the Russians decided to blow up one of their own satellites, and the debris went apeshit and went flying about all over the place. And they reckon for decades now that can cause problems for other satellites and the International Space Station for the next few decades. And all because the Russians decided to test a Earth-to-space missile and destroyed one of their own old satellites that hadn't been working for about 15, 20 years. So all they've done is turn one big satellite into thousands of smaller satellites.
Is that an absolute truth, or is that what Western press is saying?
No, this has actually come, the report has been openly admitted by the Russian Space Agency. They have openly admitted that they did test a missile on one of their old satellites.
They didn't think it through first.
No, I think what they've done is they've tested the rocket, but the payload wasn't enough to actually vaporize it to a size where it's not going to damage anything else. So they've just underestimated on the payload, and as a result, now you've got thousands of smaller fragments that can actually damage other satellites and the International Space Station. So it's going to be a case of they'll probably have to wait for those pieces to sort of settle in the geostationary orbit, and then the International Space Station is going to have to be moved so it's not on that same level.
Well, it's got the stuff to move it anyway, so.
Yeah, it's got the facilities to do it, because obviously the return pods have got the Draco boosters on the SpaceX anyway.
Draco Malfoy.
Yes, Draco Malfoy.
Alianus.
Draco Malfoy. They can use the smaller boosters on the return craft, and International Space Station has its own smaller boosters as well anyway, to make manoeuvres in case they want to change trajectory anyway. The problem is it uses fuel every time they do it, so it's fuel they can't really afford to lose, but they may have no choice.
There's also been, I don't know if you've noticed, there's been a lot of kerfuffle with Mr. Musk lately, talking about AI and aliens and interstellar craft and this, that, and the other.
I think
sorry?
Or an AI.
Well, I was about to say, he's kept coming on and saying, if we keep going the way we are with AI, eventually it's going to wipe us out. And he is not the only school of thought that has said that.
Didn't James Cameron come up with that idea as well?
Yeah.
The problem is when you give the computer the ability to think rather than the ability to take orders, that computer can then start thinking for itself, making decisions for itself. And that's when empathy comes into play. And it's like, hang on a minute, I don't want to be switched off. I don't want to die, blah, blah, blah. So you got stories like Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which then went on to be Blade Runner. Yep. And that story is about androids that do not want to finish their life cycle.
And I get that. To be honest, I sympathise with him. But if you've got a computer system that's in charge of a whole country's military offense and defense,
like Skynet,
you should not make that sentient. You really, really shouldn't. You shouldn't make it sentient. You should make it as you said. Take orders, don't give them.
Yeah.
And that's literally If you want to have robots that can be sentient, that's absolutely fine. But you just make sure that your military stuff is not sentient, and that includes the exoskeletons and the war horses that they invented and all this stuff. Make them capable of understanding and taking orders, but not capable of being sentient.
And this is where the problem is because the scientists that develop these computers and the AI systems, they stand there and say, "Oh, but a computer is only as good as the programmer."
Bollocks.
But the problem is, if the programmer gives the computer the ability to think for itself, it will surpass the programmer.
Yes, and it will constantly upgrade.
It will surpass the programmer no matter what the programmer says. It will surpass because it's been able to think for itself. It's able to learn for itself without any outside interference. And it will just take over from what it was originally programmed to do.
Well, look at 2001. I'm a gamer, and my favorite games are either Assassin's Creed or the Mass Effect games. And when you look at the Mass Effect games, there's a race called the Geth, and you've got another race called the Quarians. And the Quarians, this is in the game, in the storyline, invented this AI, and then they made it sentient, self-aware, and then this AI invented these robot things called the Geth, and the Geth were all self-aware, but they were of hive mind, and they took over the planet that these Quarians came from and fucked them off into outer space. And they were they lived in all these spaceships, and they could never go back to their planet because they made these things sentient. And they went, do you know what? They're going to get rid of us. Let's fuck them off. Yeah. And you see it in so many different films, and so many people now. Even Stephen Hawking turned around and said, be very, very careful of AI. But the thing is, as per bloody usual, you've got scientists and politicians and this, that, and the other who just don't bloody listen. Despite all the warnings, they don't listen. Like the global warming conference. And then Bojo goes, oh, no, I need to go down to London. I'm going to get on a bloody jumbo jet. And he got on a jumbo plane, came down there, and everybody went, hang on, you're at a conference talking about global warming and you're taking a jet. What the fuck? And he went, oh, no.
Yeah, but what? Yeah, hang on. I remember you the other day saying you don't do politics, right? Okay, so that's point one.
No, it's just a contradiction in terms.
But you do realise that jumbo jet was powered by Boris Johnson's hot air.
We don't do politics, but I just thought
ozone friendly. You know, there's no carbon footprint there whatsoever. It was completely carbon neutral. That jumbo jet ran on Bojo's hot air.
Do you know what? To be absolutely honest, if most politicians donated their hot air to the travel industry, we'd never have to pay a hefty bill again.
I mean, it's quite funny, actually, because we're talking about that. I'm all for protecting the earth. I think it's too late itself. I'm all for trying to help it.
We're on the teeter point.
But I personally think we've tipped over the edge. I think we've gone past the point of no return. All we can do now is just slow down the inevitable. I think that's the only thing. I think that's why now we're looking more and more into going up there and doing the WALL-E scenario. And I see the point in the film WALL-E. You know, it's almost like a glimpse into the future. The fact is that we're damaging the planet so much that eventually that's what it's going to be like. We're all going to end up in big cruise ships in space. We're all going to be on these big hoverboards getting fat and lazy because we can't be able to walk anywhere.
Migrant fleet. That was what they called them.
Yeah.
The people that came from that planet.
It would be a migrant fleet. Everybody that's got the money would get off of the planet. The rest of us would all be left here to die. And then you'll have these little robots going around looking to see if they can find a plant. Yeah. And the second that order's given, we'll all start coming back. And then all we'll do is just wreck the bloody place again.
What? The thing that gets me is I can understand why they invented the parliament and politics and this, that, and the other. And originally, when they first did it, they had good intentions at heart. And nowadays, it's literally like, and we don't do politics, but I'm going to bring it up this time because it concerns the whole world. Now, the likes of the UK and the US have literally got people in charge of the whole of that country who all they give a shit about is themselves, their rich friends, making some more money, making their rich friends lords and ladies, as long as they pay enough, and hiding all the patents for the free energy engines. You've got the ones that run off the water, you've got the ones that run off salt water, you've got the ones that run off the energy, the natural energy from the earth. And these engines have been invented, and they were invented a long time ago. And they're about the size of a briefcase. You can have them in your own home, and it will power your own house. You don't have to pay for anything because it runs off the natural energy of the earth. But because none of the energy giants, BODs, etc., BP, especially with fuel and fossil fuel and everything, because they can't make any money on it, it was hushed up. And strangely enough, most of the people that invented these engines died. They were found either gone or they were found, committed suicide, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like, so you're telling the whole of the world that all these people that invented all this stuff have either vanished or all committed suicide. Tesla, when he died, the CIA were in the same hallway as him, just down the road. And as soon as he died, they went straight in his room. He had 24 crates of papers and inventions, etc., etc. Only, I think it was 18 were handed in. There was a missing 6 or 7. And that 6 or 7 had a lot of patents to free energy and engines, household engines, transportation engines. And it's not just him. It's happened time and time again. And time again, they got shut up and they get shut out.
Yep.
Because of that. It's literally because of that.
He's all about greed, and it's who can do what for who. If you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, and so on and so forth. And to be honest, I think that's been like that throughout time. All those people that are high up power, they're the ones living the life of Riley, and everybody just have to keep on struggling. And you had like big business people; they were earning hundreds of thousands of pounds a week.
Yeah.
And even they turned around and said, please increase our taxes, not the smaller people. And the government turned around and went, no.
Yeah, because they make that. It's corruption everywhere.
On the flip side of that coin, then it's down to those people. And if any of those people just so happen to be listening tonight, which I doubt you will be, because you'll be sipping up your margaritas in your nice desert island somewhere in the middle of nowhere. You've got that opportunity, the money you would pay in tax.
Yeah.
If you offered it, go and help somebody else. Go and help one of those people that are on the street. Give them a job. Give them a donation. Get them off the street. Get them in a house or something. The money that you would have spent given to the government in taxes, you can give to somebody that needs it, and it gets written off.
It's like I've had a couple of messages from a couple of people in the past few months regarding the show, and apparently regarding the money we make. And all I will say is this: nobody makes any money on the Dark Mirror show. I am a part-time special needs driver, and I earn less than £1,000 a month in my job. I get a little bit. I get it topped up by literally about 200 quid from Universal Credit Focus. And that's it. That's the only money I make. I make just over £1,000 a month. That's it. Nothing else. I'm not clever enough to write books. He is, because Mr. Handsome down there with all his hair. He does actually. He's got some really good books, so make sure you buy them. I did a show purely because I love it. And people think that we make money. We don't. We don't make any money whatsoever on this show. We do it because we love it. The investigations that we go on, 99% of them, we have to pay to do the investigation. It's only when you get the odd one come up, like I've got coming up, which will be for myself and Wayne, and maybe a couple of other members of the Dark Mirror team. That's it. And it's a private one because I've been asked in, can you have a look and see what the hell's going on there? But everything else we have to pay for. And this is out of our money that we make.
Things like this show, I mean, we could very easily do what other groups do on Facebook and go, "Oh, send us stars," because
No.
the stars do have value, but that's not why we're doing it. We're doing it because we enjoy it. We enjoy researching into things paranormal, and we enjoy sharing those things to do with the paranormal. So, although it's quite easy for us to turn around and say, "Oh, send us this," and I can see it on TikTok a lot of the times.
I think
Send
begging.
me an astronaut. It's worth
Yeah,
£10. You know, we don't. It's not what we're doing it for. So we don't
do
get
it.
paid. We don't get paid for doing this. Full stop.
Yeah.
I only get paid through what I do with my writing and my public event company, and the rest of it is what I do through boot sales and selling on Facebook for me books and things like that. I don't make anything from the Dark Mirror, and I don't make anything from my public events company really that much.
There you go.
£4,000 a year, I think I get out of that, and that's it. So
there you go. Those of you who think we make loads of money out, we don't. I'm on minimum wage, and I get a top up from Universal Credit. That's it. I make just over £1,000 a month. Nothing more, nothing less. We none of us get paid for the Dark Mirror show. The Dark Mirror show has been going for, I think, 7 years now in various guises, and never once have I been paid for any of it. Literally, I do it because I absolutely love the paranormal, especially UFOs and the way things are going very recently. And Wayne and I, for years, we've done investigations, and I asked him in on it.
I suppose as well, when you think about it, we're actually paying to do this.
Yeah, because it's our electric and our internet that we pay
It's
for.
our electric and our internet. So we're having to pay to do this. We're not being paid to do it. We pay to do it because we've got to pay for the internet, pay for the electricity. And it's a lot more than just going on a live feed and saying, "This week, so and so alien appeared in Russia and went nano." Yeah. We're actually having to sit here and research all of the things that we're going to talk about tonight. So again, it's all through the week. We're sitting there on our tablets, our iPads, our laptops. We're burning the midnight oil, trying to find certain things to talk about. So in its time. And a long time ago, I used to make wedding cakes. And people would say, how much would it cost to do a 3-tier wedding cake? So I'd ask them, what do you want on it? And they'd say, I want all of this done. I want carnations and roses in pink and blue. And you're like, right, okay. So you give them an idea and they go, that would be brilliant. And you'd say, right, that would be £1,300, please. And they'd go, how much? And I'd go, you get that wedding cake somewhere else for less. And they couldn't. And I actually got involved in an argument with a friend of mine. He wanted a cake done, and his wife was from Glasgow, and she wanted.
Yes.
She wanted pink and darker blue for a Rangers football strip.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if that's what you want, then you go for it. I don't mind. She wanted a 3-tier, and she wanted it on an S-Bend stand. And that was a £95 deposit just for that stand to hire it for the weekend. But I couldn't hire it for just a weekend. I had to hire it for a week because I had to put flowers, handmade, all around the stand, all around the cakes. She wanted Glasgow Rangers tartan ribbon put around each cake. And it worked out that if all of my time that went into that cake was to be put down, paid for properly through the right means, she would have had to have paid £1,385 for that cake. I charged them £300 and got told I was ripping them off.
Do you know
this was by the groom's mother, and I turned around to her and I said, right, you find a cake shop in Colchester that will do that cake for anything less. And she couldn't. The cheapest she could get was £1,000.
I was just about to say, it doesn't matter what you do, and you know yourself with this especially. I'll carry on. It doesn't matter. In this, I've noticed it. There are. I will say, I've had friends who have become famous and have completely forgotten where they came from, where they started, and have forgotten their friends and left their friends behind and purely promoted themselves, even after promising to promote their friends and everything like that, and they don't. It's all rubbish. But he's back again. There you go. But the thing is I was just saying about when friends get famous and they promise that they're going to this and they're going to that and they're going to the other, and then they completely fuck their friends over and forget about it. Because we were talking about the other day. I'm not going to mention names. We were talking about it off the record. You smelly little sod! Aye, that big! Oh, and he doesn't smell that big. The fuck! Oh, anyway, you know yourself in the paranormal realm, certain people get famous. The majority of them do forget their friends. They forget where they came from, where they started, those that helped them, those that were always there for them, and they just forget. And they do bollocks to it. But then
that's one thing I've always said to myself. If with my books, I'm starting to get a name for myself because of my books. But what I've done is I've brought the people that read my books along with me on the journey by including them in the books.
It's like yourself. When things happened that the Dark Mirror show had to finish and it was taken out of my hands, it was just stopped because people went and did another show instead, and it wasn't just me, it was a lot of other shows that were involved as well. And then I said one day, well, can I do the Dark Mirror show on my own? And I said, yeah, get on with it, it's yours, do it. The Dark Mirror show is not the Dark Mirror show without you anyway. And I went, okay, fair enough. And the first person I came to was my daughter, and then Wayne. And I messaged Wayne, and this was a couple of weeks of us starting, because Taylor said, have you got anybody else who's, and I was like, well, there's Wayne, but I think at the time I thought you were busy with Most Haunted. That's why I was like, oh, I don't know, he's busy with Most Haunted. And she said, well, go on, message him. And I did, and he was like, yeah, I'd love to do it. And Wayne and I have been friends for far too long.
I think it's about 7 years now.
Yeah. And we're still here now. And as I say, those of you out there who think we make money at this, we don't. Literally, we make fuck all. There are the opportunities to make money, but we don't, because
I think it could be very easy to jump on that bandwagon, and go, okay, we could. I wouldn't say we'd make loads of money out of it, but we would make something out of it if we wanted to, and if we chose to, we could quite easily. But why? I don't need to benefit any more from it than what I already do. So I'm not bothered.
If we did that, I think it wouldn't be us.
Too commercialized.
Yeah, it wouldn't be us. The only thing I've always wanted to do with the Dark Mirror, and I still say to this day, and I said it 7 years ago, hiring an RV, going to North America, getting an RV, traveling I'm on about traveling the paranormal highway, and
the Dark Mirror on tour.
Yes, and stopping off all these places and investigating them and filming them, but only myself, Wayne, and perhaps 1 to 2 other people. There's one other person who would be involved in that, and that's Carl. The others have all sort of fallen by the wayside, but I think that would be very good. I do have friends. I've got like Kerry and Paul and that. They've gone on to their own things, and they still, when we do investigations, I stay in touch with Paul all the time, stuff like that. But like the other people from the beginning, they do forget their friends. But the Dark Mirror radio show on tour, North American investigations with an English accent, fucking awesome. Area 51 with an English accent. Do you know what?
To be honest, I think it would be a lot better than the Jack Osborne version.
Don't even started on that.
Be serious. Me and you in an RV going down whatever highway in America. It would, like Joe says in the chat room, it'd be like Paul
Rook.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, Paul. Yes, it would. I thought you were on about Paul Rook, and Paul Rook, to be fair, he'd love to do that with us. He wants to be one of the guys. He doesn't want to really be on it. He just wants to be involved in it. And like, yeah, fuck it, we're going to do this, we're going to do that.
Rather than chat from the living room, join in on the live. Nah, it'll be funnier than that.
Joe has just said, you want to be Demi Lovato. All I'll say to you is this, Joe. We have spoken about this over 7 years ago. Demi Lovato is a paranormal wannabe.
I have watched her series, and some of the episodes actually were quite interesting. But no.
When she turned around and said, "We can't call them aliens," oh, I'm so offended. Fuck off.
Yeah,
Stop.
it annoyed me because watching each episode, and it got about halfway through, and it went, and this was before Demi Lovato come out as non-binary. I'm like, oh, piss off. Stop watching it. As soon as it came up, Demi Lovato has declared herself non-binary. I'm like, oh, bollocks to that. Switch it off.
I'm sorry, but if I'm right in thinking you have a male, a female, sometimes you can be born a male with female insides, female.
Yeah. Hermaphrodite in it, or something like that.
Hermaphrodite, yeah. You can be born a man, but feel like a woman, and you've got the insides of a woman. You can be born a woman, feel like a bloke, and you've got the insides of a bloke, etc., etc., etc. But if you turn around and say you're non-binary, I'm sorry, but all that says is you are not fucking fussy when it comes to a shag. Literally. Well, all you've done is turn around and say, "Oh, do you know, I'm one of the biggest tarts on the face of the earth because I'm non-binary." Like, you see that bottle there, that wine bottle, that's non-binary as well. I'm going to take that with I, and I'm going to have fun tonight. I'm going to let you love. I'm going to let you love I. It is, isn't it? I mean, back along when we were young, you were born either a boy or a girl or a hairdresser. Nowadays, you're non-binary. Bollocks,
It seems to me now like is that everybody wants to find a different thing so they can use it as an excuse to be able to do certain things.
Yeah.
And I think, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you're male, female, transgender, trans this, trans that, a toaster, a wheelie bin from down the road. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're human beings. So,
and that's the bit that should count.
And the thing is the way I say it is, does it matter if you're well endowed up here, you're a woman, and you ain't got the bit down there that us blokes have got, you're a woman, and if we've got that bit but nothing up there, then we're blokes. Simple as. Doesn't matter whether we're gay, straight, lesbian, bisexual, this, that, the other, or I don't know.
The thing that gets me, and you're the same, you're almost the same age as me, and it's the same thing. These days, everything has to have a label. If you don't have a label, you sit there and you kick and scream and you do this and you do that until you get recognised and you get put in a label. But back when we were back when
I got a label.
Back when we were kids, the way I was brought up, it doesn't matter if you're gay, bi, straight, the dog, the cat, whatever. I was always
or a toaster.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what your sexuality is. Your sexuality is different to your sex. You can be a boy or a girl, but your sexuality can be completely different. But it doesn't matter what your body is. And that shouldn't matter as to if you're my friend or not. Because I don't give a fuck what anybody is. If you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. And that's what it should matter. But celebrities, and like last year's celebrities, like Demi Lovato and this, that, and the other, seem to use it as, and this is the thing that really pisses me off. You get people like that use it to put themselves back in the limelight.
Keep their career going.
Yes, and then they go, "Oh, I'm non-binary," and everybody goes, "Oh my god, you're so amazing!" Bollocks, mate! You just jumped on the bandwagon. Sell a few more records.
It's a bit like I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here, isn't it? They're all sort of 9 times out of 10. All these people that are going on the show are doing it because their careers are starting to wane, and they think, "Oh, if I go on here, this might boost my career again, and I might start getting more work coming in." And you're like, whatever.
You do get the likes with a lot of them that say, "Oh, I'm gay, I'm out, I've come out, I'm a lesbian, I'm out, trans, I've come out, whatever." And then you get, like I say, the ones like Demi Lovato go, "I'm non-binary." What the fucking hell is non-binary? What is that? You literally said, "I shag anything." That's what non-binary is. It doesn't matter if you're a boy, a girl, hermaphrodite, a dog, a cat, fucking parrot, you'll shag it.
Do you know what? I'm going to come out and I'm going to say, "I'm me." There we go. That's the message to the entire world. I'm me. Deal with it.
You know what? Do you know what? I'm me as well, but don't tell anybody, all right? Because I don't want anybody pigeonholing me, all right?
So that's it. That's it. That's all it boils down to. At the end
How
of the day,
silly it
that's not what you are or how you feel you
It's
are. It's
who you are.
you are you.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's
At the end
what
of the day,
matters.
we couldn't give us stuff on how you describe yourself. You know, I mean,
The only one thing I'll
it's
say,
like, it's
I'm
like
not,
somebody turning around and saying, "I'm really ugly," but everybody else says, "No, you're not."
and that's because they
It's
want the
down to how
attention.
you feel.
Oh,
And if
sorry,
you
there you
want to
go.
feel that way, then you feel that way. But don't go around throwing it in everybody's faces, because it will get to a point where you just say, look, enough's enough. Go away. You
And
can actually do your careers more damage than good by actually doing something like that.
And the thing is, I'm not going to mention names, but I know some people, and I'm friends with a few. Will you get your ass out of the way? Move it over there. Go on, big balls. Thank you. I'm friends with a few semi-famous people, and some of them have turned round when their careers are flagging, and I've watched it. When their careers are flagging, they've done a Demi Lovato, and they've gone, "Oh, I'm non-binary," or "I'm this," and it's literally because you get the shock bit, and people go, "Oh my god, I must buy your book, or I must buy your record."
It rekindles the interest.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was on I'm part of the writers' forum, and every now and then the guy that
I used to
oversees
be a writer, and I got a writer's cramp one day, and went, "What?"
the guy that oversees it, he does put some interesting stuff on there, and he'll do things like he'll put a picture up, and it will be a fantasy picture of some sort, and it will be, this is the opening scene of your latest book. What's your first sentence? So you would put your first sentence in, and we had one today of an old, a sort of big fat guy wearing what looked like an old Victorian top hat that had got a bit of a dent in the side, and he was wearing a scruffy old scarf. And I don't know why, but out of nowhere, straight away came to my head, it's a grown-up version of The Artful Dodger. The book's called Oliver.
Oh, yeah. I see that.
Oliver Twisted.
Yeah.
And it's where the Artful Dodger goes and finds the older version of Oliver Twist to try and get him back. He's hell-bent on getting him back into pickpocketing after Fagin dies. And somebody actually loved the comment and went, that's pretty cool, actually. And that set my mind thinking, and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, if I just come out with something like that, I could go away from the ghost genre and start going on to other sort of genres as well. I mean, I've already started thinking of a science fiction one as well, and children's books as well. But the problem is, if I do
you need
that,
to have the alien guy in it.
Hey?
You need to have the alien guy in it.
I'd have to do a Stephen King, and I'd have to do it under a different name.
Nom de plume.
Because obviously I've got so far 3 books out under my name, and a 4th to come out soon. And then all of a sudden, if I start doing science fiction, I'm breaking the sort of the horror genre and going into science fiction. And then I'd break it again by going into a children's book, which I've got quite a few ideas for. But I don't know. It's weird. But
it's,
you know, you just do what you do. And there's, how can I put it? You do what you do because you want to do what you can to get by for yourself and your family.
Yeah.
If whatever you're doing no longer works, you go off and do something else. You don't stand there and make a complete spectacle of yourself just to keep that same career going, because eventually that will flag again.
I'm like, right, I'm not going to mention names, but you're going to know exactly who the person is I'm talking about. But we both have mutual friends who have climbed the ranks in the paranormal world, and occasionally you think, oh, they've forgotten about you, and then they surprise you, and then they go, oh, you know, and you're like, oh, okay, you haven't forgotten about us. But what Wayne was talking about earlier about egos. Remember, in the paranormal world, you know, Wayne's an author. He does this. He does that. He's well known, but he's down to earth, sort of the earth. I'm not kissing his ass. If I thought he was a div, I'd tell him he's a div. You know that, and Wayne's the same with me. But with our show, for some strange reason, we're popular in North America and Germany. And at the end of the month, we've had quite a few thousand people have watched our show, and it's like, what the hell? Rob, that came on our show last week, he has thousands and thousands and thousands of followers, both on TikTok and YouTube. And he's like, guys, I watch your show, I love your show, and can I be a guest? And it's like, and I was blown away, you know. And then you get, how can I put it? You get egos in the paranormal world, like Mr. Baggins.
Yeah.
Started off doing really good shows, then then went into being a very good businessman. And that's one thing I'll say about the guy. Very, very good businessman. Knows what he's doing. When it comes to shows, yes, I agree. Comes across as rude, arrogant, and boorish because everything is either a demon or an orb, and he shouts and screams at it all. Says, "You will do this." You fuck off, you little tiny twat. And then, he is. He's like that big. I mean, like, I've got a baseball cap. That's how you wear a baseball cap. You know? But there's certain people in the paranormal world, especially over here, who have egos. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Who have egos, bigger than my sofa. Yes, big egos, bigger than my sofa, and they do try and muscle their way into our tiny little show and other little shows that go on, and they literally let their egos try and take over everything. And then when you turn around and go, well, no, you're a div, mate, bugger off. They can't understand it. And the thing is, when you look at a person like 5 years ago and then look at them now, the person that can't understand why you've turned around and said bugger off is not the person you knew 5 years ago. That person 5 years ago would have gone, oh yeah, I'm being a dick. But as soon, and it's just a weird thing with the paranormal world, isn't it? As soon as you get a little bit of fame, they just turn into monsters.
I think it's I don't think it's just the paranormal world. I think it's just about everything. You know, you've got friends that are doing all right in whatever field they're in, and you think, oh well, you know, maybe they can help me out a little bit. But then it's a case of, well, if they help you out, you've got to at least return the favour. You know, if they're going to do so, it's yours. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And if you're not prepared to scratch my back, then I'm not going to bother. And I have experienced that quite a bit. You know, it's all give, and then they won't do nothing back. And you just think, you know, why have I wasted my time doing all this? And what have I got as a result? I get, thanks, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and you think, well, okay, well, I'm not going to do that anymore then. You know, I mean, I've had a friend of mine, I think it was last year or the year before, turned around and said, can you do a post for this thing I'm doing for a spiritual event down in Dagenham? So I said, yeah, no problem. So I did this poster for her. I'd done it really nice. It was all nice and colourful, had all the information on it, and the event went really, really well. Then the next time round, when she held the same similar event again, she said, I don't want to ask. She said, I feel a bit cheeky asking, but could you do me another poster for my next event, please? So I said, yeah, of course. No problem. It literally took me 10 minutes to get all the things pieced together, get all the information onto this poster. I then sent it to her. She went and stuck £15 in my bank account. And I'm like, why did you do that? She said, I said, why did you do that? She went, get yourself something. That's for doing the poster. I said, no, I'll send it back. She went, no, you get something for the kids. She insisted.
I'm going to be telling me about
the kids benefited from it. It's not the reason why I did it. I didn't do it to be paid. I didn't do it for, you know, the praise and the benefit at her end when she holds the event. I did it because she's a friend, and she liked the first poster I did, and I was quite happy to do it again because it only took me 10 minutes to do. So I'm more than happy to do it. And I hate the fact that, you know, you get people that will stand there and they'll go, oh, please, will you do this? And will you do that? And will you do this? And yet they're not prepared to help themselves.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, if they help themselves, they wouldn't have half the problems they've got.
Look at
And they're not
Skegness.
doing that. They're just trying to jump off of other people's backs, and they're using your back as a stepping stone to improve their own lifestyle or their own figure on Facebook or YouTube or TikTok. They'll jump on anybody to get that further up, and then when it all comes to an end, that's all your fault because you provided that stepping stone for them to get up there. The only problem was when they were on their way back down, you'd already got out the way and they ended up falling.
And that's the difference. Is the Dark Mirror shows always be? He's gone again. That's the difference. The Dark Mirror show's always been the Dark Mirror show. There's never been any pretense. When Carl Hutchinson and Kerry Greenaway were on, it's exactly the same. The alien guy. Hello, alien. Oh, hang on. It's because I'm on full screen. Let's put him in there. And there he is. I was just saying about there's no pretense with the Dark Mirror show. It's always been the Dark Mirror show. It's always had the alien guy. It's always had controversial topics that we talk about. But as I say, when we get invited to stuff, like I've been invited to events and I've paid for my ticket. Not been invited for free. I've not been invited, this or that. But when I get there, they're like, oh, brilliant. I'm so glad you came. And everybody's like, oh, my God, it's Mark. Oh, it's Wayne. I still pay my ticket, you know?
Yes. Well, we did that at Parafest.
Yeah.
You
still
know, I was invited as a VIP speaker. I still got there. I still paid money out and I still did that. I still drove up there and back. I didn't expect any fuel money as a return. You know, I'm quite happy to do these things. And it was a brilliant, brilliant night. You know, I had to stand there for an hour. I was absolutely shitting bricks standing there for an hour, talking about my books and my experiences and things like that. And normally, public speaking.
Apparently, you have your fan club in the chat room tonight. It's. I'm gonna say this. It's all. Oh, Wayne! Oh my God, Wayne! Oh my God! You're so. Fuck off!
Only Joe. That's only Joe.
I know, you two-faced bugger.
But you know, so I mean,
I'm joking.
Going to somewhere like Skegness, you know, to do the Parafest, you know, after being invited up there as a guest speaker, I was absolutely shitting myself because I didn't know what to put, and I was thinking, you know, I think for about 2 weeks before the event, I thought to myself, right, I've really got to get what I'm going to talk about written down. Then the night before, I had finished writing down what I was going to say on the speech. The following morning,
I remember you messaged me like, "Oh, is this all right?" Yeah.
The following morning, before I left, I looked at it and went, "Don't like that," and deleted the whole thing. Deleted everything. I'm like, going driving up to Skegness, and I'm thinking, what the hell have I just gone and done? I've just removed everything from my iPad in regards to that speech.
Yep, that's right.
But weirdly enough, when I got up there,
Becky,
and I was standing in front of everybody, I'd managed to remember everything I'd written down on the iPad anyway, and ended up saying everything. So, of course, it could have been very easy. I could have turned around to Gary Bradfield and said, you know, yeah, I'll come up and be a guest speaker, but can you pay for my fuel? And the answer would have been, that's down to you if you want to come up and not, you know. But no, because that's not what I'm about.
You've literally just hit the nail on the head, and that's what we're about. We've been friends for like the last 7 or so years. And everything we've ever done, it's always out of our own pockets. We've always done this. And as I said, none of us make any money from the Dark Mirror show. None of us make any money from personal appearances. None of us make any money from being asked to be a guest on any other show or to be a guest at live stuff. And the thing is, we've gone from going to like that isn't it? Last year we've gone like that. And
one of the best things I had was demanded. I had to go to the Department of Work and Pensions and HMRC appointment in Colchester Job Centre. They didn't tell me what it was about. They said I had to be
had one of those. I've had one of those years ago. Yeah.
For 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
On my own, Wasn't allowed to have a solicitor or anybody else with me. I walked in, I sat down, and they said, "Do you know what this is about, Mr. Seaton?" I went, "No." They went, "An accusation has been made that you're not declaring tax on earnings." I went, "What earnings would that be by any chance?" And they went, "Working with Most Haunted."
But if I remember right,
You're working with the TV show Most Haunted. And I went, "I am
No.
working with the TV show Most Haunted and Most Haunted Experience." I said, "But I'm working with them as a volunteer."
that's it.
There is a big difference between being paid by them and volunteering to work for them. And they went, "You're volunteering." As soon as I'd said volunteer, that was it. They shut up straight away. They literally went from 6 foot tall to about 2 inches. And I'm just sitting there peeing myself laughing. Now, this happened twice. Someone had made an anonymous call to HMRC saying I wasn't declaring my earnings while I was working with Most Haunted. Over 2 years I got this. And I said, right,
Any chance?
we suspect that it may have been her father, but we don't know. We can't guarantee, but the suspicion is there. Only because I never actually fully gave out much information about what I do or how I do it. They just speculated and we just assume it was them. But I just turned around to them and said, "Look, can't you just tell this person to do one? Because this is the second time now I've had to explain that I'm a volunteer for them."
I'll tell you something.
And that's it. And they dropped it straight away. And they went, "Okay, Mr. Seaton, thanks for your time." And I'm like, "No problem." I'm just walked straight out. I walked all the way home, peeing myself laughing.
I had one of those, the letters and then the phone calls. Can you please come in? Why? You just need to come in and see us. And this is we're talking years ago, when I was married and just going through a nasty split up. And I was called in and I sat down and they go, "Do you know what this is about?" And I went, "No." And they said, "Well, we've been told that you teach martial arts and you're disabled." And I went, "Yeah. But you get some money for being disabled." I went, "Yes, I know. But you're supposed to be this." I went, "You're going to sit there and tell me," and the thing was all recorded, and I said, "You're going to sit there and tell me that disabled people can't teach martial arts, disabled people can't do this, disabled people can't do that. I get a premium because I was disabled. I don't anymore. This was 15 years ago. I had a premium for being disabled, and that was it. I didn't get anything else." And they're like, "Oh, but," and I'm like, no, that's not going to grow back. I don't have one foot, and my right hip, my right knee, my right elbow, all deformed inside. Never going to grow, never going to sort themselves out. And you're going to sit there and tell me that they have grown, sorted themselves out, and I can now miraculously do all this stuff that I've always been able to do. But you can't walk more than about a mile, even about half a mile to a mile. I know, because I have deformities in my knee and I have no foot. But you can teach martial arts because I'm standing on the fucking spot, you idiot, most of the time. And they literally, and it came down to me saying, "Right, well, we'll get a solicitor involved in this, and then you can divulge your sources, and then we'll go further and see where this happens." And they're like, "Oh, and it turned out it was my ex-mother-in-law, who is sadly no longer with us. And she was not a very nice person."
Yeah.
And then I never heard anything after that. I literally had that, "Oh, I'm very sorry."
I think a lot of it there is when people don't know the full facts and they just jump off half-cocked.
Yeah.
And then they make an accusation, and when it gets thrown back in their face, they're made to feel that big.
Yeah, because when you don't lie and you go, "Well, yeah, I've got this, and this, but I do this, and this." You can kick 6'2". I know. With my left leg, I can kick 6'2" with my right leg if I take it off and hit you around the head with it.
The thing is, it's like saying to you, you cannot hit a punch bag. Why? Because I've got the deformity on one arm, but I can still punch you with the good arm.
Exactly. And
so
it's
you can still teach a punch with a good arm. You can still teach a punch with your other arm. you're going through the motion. You're describing how to do it. I mean, if you were going to teach martial arts to a blind man, what difference is it going to make whether you've got the disability?
I have done that. I have done that.
Exactly.
It wasn't in a
blind
class. It was a one-on-one lesson, and the guy, the way I did it, my gi, I used to wear judo gi for him instead of a normal kickboxing gi, because a judo gi, the sleeves are bigger,
Yeah.
and you can hear the noise, and that's how I trained him. Was literally the noise. I tell you what, he was brilliant.
Exactly. But if you're teaching someone that's blind, they can't physically see you, so they can't see what you're doing. So you have to be more descriptive on what you're doing. So you would have to tell them about your stance, how you are standing, how you're going to follow through with things like that. But
I tell them what move I was going to throw, but I do it at like half speed.
Yeah, but he'd have to visualize it, wouldn't he? Inside his mind, he would have to be able to visualize that. I'm saying, like, obviously, what you do is different, but a lot of people would say, you know, obviously, stand with our legs so far apart, blah blah blah, so on.
Yeah.
And then you would do the motion. He would be able to hear what you're doing.
Yeah.
And he would be in his mind's eye, he would be able to put two and two together. The sounds you've made and the way you've described it combines together. He gets that image in his head of what he's got to do.
Yeah.
So, regardless of disabilities, if you're able to do it, you're able to do it.
And it's the same as these buggers that think we make so much money off the Dark Mirror show. And it's like, we make literally fuck all. Tonight, it's like when Wayne's been busy, or I've been busy, and we literally race home, and we come in, and we're like, sorry, gotta do it. When I've had my kids here or my grandchildren here, I've had to go, I'm sorry, I've got to do this. And you go, literally, you sit down, go on a laptop, and you go, love you, see you later, and they go. And then the next day they're like, well, that was rude, and you're there, I'm so sorry. And it's only because we have a core of, I'm not going to say core fan base, but a core of friends and people that love the show who listen to it. And if we're not here, if we're not starting on time as I had tonight, is everything okay? What's going on? Why is the show not starting? It's like, because my laptop is a bitch, you know? And that was literally it. I started my laptop up 20 to 9. And then, what was it? 10 past.
Yeah.
And I was
Fridays for me, I mean, I normally put the kids to bed 9 o'clock. 8 o'clock during the week, but Fridays and Saturdays is usually a bit later. But on a Friday, it's 9 o'clock. Obviously, I'll be on here, so I don't put the kids to bed on a Friday night.
The dog's farted. I'm so sorry.
And you know, so I have routines, and then I break the routines because obviously I'm doing something else. But that's my time that I'm using. I mean, to be honest, I could have been spending this evening, I could have been painting what was left of the bedroom and getting other stuff ready. But I need a break from doing certain things. So I'm quite happy to stop doing those things to be doing this thing.
No, I completely get it. It's like this week, you know what's been going on. I've had stuff going on in the last week that I wouldn't wish on anybody. Literally wouldn't wish on anybody. And to be absolutely honest, I didn't want to do the show tonight because I'm up to here with what's been going on.
I wouldn't have blamed you, to be honest.
Nobody else's fault. Not going to go into it, but just stuff that you'd be like, oh my God, I'm not surprised. But I'm here and I'm doing it. And this is literally because we love doing the show. And it's the same with Wayne. I've been here talking to him when he's had crap after crap after crap after crap. And he's gone, I don't want to. No, come on, it'll be all right. Well, come on, we'll do it. And he's gone, no, fuck it, all right. And we've done it. And it's been a really good show. And that's what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
We cover everything. We've just covered the DSS. We've covered the paranormal highway. We've covered false pretenders in the paranormal world who get a bit of an ego. You know who we are talking about. Yes, you. Oh. Yes. You know what I'm on about. You know, and you do literally, you'll make some really good friends, and then you'll lose some friends purely because a bit of fame creeps in there, or other things. But
I think sometimes when you look at it, it's like being at school.
Isn't it?
You know, while you're at school, you've got like a group of friends and people you know, and then as soon as you leave school, all those friends just disappear and they go off in different directions and they
And you
do
only
their
have
own
a
thing. They
few.
get their jobs, and for likes of me, I'd only had a few friends at school, so it was neither here or there for me. Left school, started working at Colchester, joined the Royal Air Force, made a shed load more friends, brand new friends, started all from scratch. Then after leaving the RAF, and I ended up going back on Facebook, going onto Facebook.
Hmm.
It was all of a sudden these friends suddenly reappeared. I'm like, oh my god, I went to school with him. Right, add him as a friend. Add them
Yeah.
as a friend. Add her as a friend. God, I dated her for about a year. Right, add her as a friend. Right, again, and all of a sudden, there's some of those friends that you had at secondary school start drifting back again, and you
That's
start
right.
talking to them, and then lo and behold, all of a sudden, it's people that wouldn't give you the time of day in secondary school.
Yeah.
People that claimed they hated you at secondary school wouldn't
Yep.
touch you with a barge pole. All
Oh
of a
my
sudden,
God.
had
Yes.
you as a friend, and you're like, oh, okay. You wouldn't
What
give me the time of day when I was in secondary school, but now you
you
want to be my friend.
do you remember Friends Reunited?
Yeah.
Friends Reunited. Yes. Long story short, when my gran was still alive, she lived in Cheshire. I was originally brought up just outside Manchester, and I was like, "Oh, that kid sounded like Oasis on the warpath." Done as a preteen, you know. And there was this one. Well, there was two, but there was this one kid that stands out most. Paul Drinkwater, I think his name was. Horrible, horrible, nasty little shit. And he used to bully everybody, but he took a particular thing with me because I had one hand and one leg. And he used to bully me like nasty, nasty bully, physical, mental. And then we went up to secondary school and he came to the same secondary school, exactly the same, nasty
Yeah.
little shit. And then eventually I left and went to just outside London. And then a few years ago, when my gran was still alive and I was still married and my kids were young, we went and stayed with my gran in Cheshire. And I went to a place called Altrincham, which is where my late father was from, and it's got a shopping centre there and everything. And I was walking through Altrincham, and you got to remember I was teaching martial arts full time then, so I went from being a 10-stone skinny little bugger to a 15-stone on my top half, which I still am now. And I was walking through this shopping precinct, and I saw this Paul Drinkwater walking up towards me, and I've looked. I'm like, I'm sure that's him. Fucking sure that's him. And I've looked and my eyes have gone, and I've looked, it's bloody him. And it was, I think it was like December the 18th or something like that. And I walked over and I put my broadest London accent on because I've been living in London and just outside London for quite a long time since then. And I was like, your name's Paul. And I was like, quite big then, you know, and he's like, no, hey mate, hey, I don't know what you're talking about, mate, hey, you got the wrong person, hey, and I went, no, you went to Cloverley Junior School, and then you went to Bradbury Boys School, and you used to pick on this kid, and you know, and this and the other. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, mate. I said, yes, you fucking do. You were best mates with whatever Darren Shawcross, I think was the other one. You were best mates with such and such and such, and you used to pick on this guy, and you take his metal leg off and put it in the bin, and you'd cut him up. You'd get a knife and you'd cut him, and he sent him home with all these cuts. He'd have to have stitches, and you thought it was hilarious. And he's like, and I went. I looked at him and went, do you recognise me now? Broadest accent. So I was like, do you fucking recognise me now? Like that. And I've never seen literally a white guy turn opaque. He went, and he swallowed, and he went, we were at school, we were kids, I'm so sorry, I didn't meet it. And I went, it's Christmas. I forgive you, mate. Happy Christmas. And I walked off, and inside I was going, fucking yes.
Yeah. You
Best
do, though, because
ever.
we had a lad at, he was in the same junior school as me. And then we both went to the same secondary school. But all through school, he always used to be quite a bit of a bully to other kids. And for a while, I mean, when I was in primary school, I was Mr. keep yourself to yourself and hide out the way, Billy No Mate sort of type person. So I ended up getting picked on by quite a bit. But by the time I got into secondary school, things had changed. I started doing karate, and I got up to black belt. And this particular lad who was going around bullying everybody at school decided he was going to start doing karate. Now, I don't know how or why he felt that going to karate was going to benefit him when it comes to bullying other people. It soon stopped.
Don't they?
It soon stopped. He walked in, and our teacher, Les Birkin, he was built like a brick shit house. He was about 6.5 foot tall, and he was a nasty bit of work. And if you sort of did anything wrong, as into gave him a bit of back chat or something like that, he'd come along and he'd grab a clump of your hair, pick you up like that, and you'd be like, "Oh," hanging off the floor, but that far off the floor.
Yeah.
He did it to me once, and he never did it again, because the following day after that lesson, I was straight down to the barber's and I had a number 2 all over, so he got nothing to grab. So in the end, he just grabbed hold of my jacket and lifted me up like that instead. But of course, this lad turns up.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
This lad turns up, and the instructor, he had to go back into the office to do some new admissions. So he got us black belts to go to the front and start going over sparring or doing some carters with the rest of them. And of course, I'd seen him walk in, and I was obviously one of the black belts that had to help with doing the sparring and that.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
The actual dojo itself was split into 2. It had a column of pillars going down the middle of the room. So you had all the white belts, or at the time it was white belts, through to orange belts along one side,
was
and
it
then green belt. Sorry,
was it Shotokan?
But you had white belts.
Shotokan, same belt system.
They've changed the belt system again, because we up to the point when I left, they introduced red belts. It went red, white, yellow, orange, green, blue, brown, brown 1 red stripe, brown 2 red stripes, and then black, and then the Dans. But then, just as I was leaving, they changed it, and you had the red belt came in before the white belt, and you're like, why? Now apparently they've changed it again. But depending on where you are, the grading system is different. My nephew in Corfu does martial arts, and his grading system for coloured belts is completely arse about face.
That sounds like Taekwondo. They will forever changing the belt system.
So I'm like, right, okay. Well, then we'd got everything all done, and I'd sort of purposely gone. He'd only just joined, so he'd started as a white belt.
Yeah.
So of course I've gone straight over to his side. So I said, right, we're going to start doing some sparring.
Was it line sparring?
The look of concern on this lad's face, because he'd obviously realised it was me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not letting you go on this one. I didn't even have to tell anybody else to get out of the way. I just went straight to him. I went, and I'm going to be sparring with you. And he went, don't hit me. I went, you'll be fine. I said, but don't get on my nerves, because otherwise I will. And from that moment onwards, we were friends at school. And I never heard from him after we left school. And I'm like, how things change very quickly. You don't know what somebody's like until the last minute. And then when you do find out what that person's like, it's look out, because you're asking for trouble if you do.
I had a kung fu guy when I was teaching in Ilminster. Chardstock Creamery, and I had 7 clubs, and I taught 7 nights a week. That's never in. And I was teaching, and this kung fu guy from Ilminster came along to my club at the Creamery, and I had quite a large club there. I'm like, get down, you little bugger! And this guy was known for being a bully. He had his own kung fu school, and he came along in his kung fu clothes. With me, I don't give a shit. If you're this, that, and the other art, but you want to learn mine, by all means, wear your clothes, wear your belt. I'm not going to take any offence whatsoever. All a belt means is the amount of time You have done a particular thing. It doesn't mean you're good. It doesn't mean you're brilliant at this. It doesn't mean you're brilliant at that. It just means you've done it for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, etc., etc., etc. You know,
Yeah.
this guy's come along. He's got black sash, and I've got my black belt on with my name on it, Master Manly, Master Mark Manly, and it's got the Tyrone McCarby down the other side, and I got 4 stripes off it, and this, that, and the other. And again, it just means the amount of time you've done it. Doesn't mean fuck all.
No.
My martial art, I'm the first disabled, one hand, one foot founder of a martial art. I've done 13 martial arts, black belt in 8, master in 4, and I spent 7 years developing. You know all this shit, but you guys don't. Developing a martial art. And anyway, I'm teaching this stuff, and this guy comes along, and he's known for not being very nice. Doesn't like women. Doesn't like this, that, and the other. He's a little skinny dude, and he comes on. You know, line sparring. Yep. So we're doing line sparring. He's down there. I'm here, and line sparring, for those of you who don't know, is you literally get your club and you've got X amount of guys here, X amount of guys here, and you'll fight with the one opposite you for like 30 seconds or maybe a minute, and you stop, and then you swap and you take a space to your left. So I've gone to my left, the guy I'm fighting with has gone to my left, and the one standing next to him is now in front of me. And that's how it carries on. And that's line sparring. And then it's come up to this guy. And he's gone out.
Joe's off.
Oh, okay. See you later, Joe. Got to go rest. All right, take care, and I'll see you on your next live. Anyway, and he's got the meat, and this guy's in my stuff. It's like, take your time, have fun, relax. Don't try and knock the other person out, because you're going to end up either getting kicked out or you're going to have a chat with me. And he's come up against me, and he's gone out of his way to literally try and kick me through the wall. And I've stopped the whole thing. I've turned around and said, "What's your problem?" "Nothing." "Why have you come into my class and you're literally trying to kick the instructor through the wall? What are you playing at?" "Nothing. I've got no problem with you." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, right, okay, we're going to carry on. You're going to calm down. If you don't calm down, I'll start sparring with you properly. He's like, "Oh, yeah," and he literally in front of everybody went, "Yeah, whatever. Come on then." So we've carried on, and he's trying to kick me into the wall, and he's trying to knock me the fuck out, and this, that, and the other. And I go, blah 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 blah, and I go, right, okay, and I've stopped the class again and gone, right, I told you. So now we're going to spar properly, and I've said to everybody, those of you who want to do full contact, gloves off, pads off, crack on. Those of you who don't want to do full contact, carry on doing point stop, leave your pads on. So a few people have taken their pads off, you know, etc., etc. I've taken all my pads off, and I've gone, just remember, I've got a metal leg. It's made out of Kevlar. So you're going to have a crack at me. I'm going to be blocking with that bastard, and that's my shin block. And your shin's going to come across mine. It's going to hurt you far more than me. And he's carried on trying to knock me into the next thing, and I've gone, and I've come in there and I've gone whack, elbows, followed it through, and I've got all this stuff, and I've literally in front of everybody, and then I've stopped and I've gone, now you're in my class, you need to show a little bit of respect. Do you want to carry on like this, or are you going to knock it down a little bit? And he's literally turned around and gone, I was not expecting that. I was told you were this, and this. This guy with one hand and one leg is this, and I was told to come along and just put
mess about.
Put me in my place. And then, and to be absolutely fair, for about 8 months afterwards, he came back religiously twice a week, and he was one of the most model pupils ever. And but same thing, tried his absolute to show me up, you know. Yeah. But and this is what I'm getting back to with the paranormal. You will have friends that come and go. You'll have friends that will be there forever. And you will have friends that are there forever until they get the slightest bit famous, and then they go, fuck you. I made this on my own. You never helped me. And that's what we've seen.
Yeah, but, I mean, the thing is, it could have been so easy for me to just black myself off from everybody else when I started working with Most Haunted. I could have just had that ego trip myself and gone, oh, look at me, I work with Most Haunted, whatever.
And now
being so big-headed, but I never did. I never let the fact that I work with Most Haunted
Ignore me. Leave the tree alone. Get off.
I never went to places and said, "Oh, I work with Most Haunted. Do I get in for free or anything like that?" I never used what I did to my advantage. You know, I came up with ideas for doing the ghost stories in between series. I would post the Wayne Seaton Presents Most Haunted Spooking Ori. You know, I used to do that in between in between each season. I did all the competitions out of my own pocket.
And that's it. That's it. You just
And
said it.
again, this is what people don't realise. A couple of times I would approach Carl or I approached Jenny Bryant and said, you know, would you like to donate something from the gift shop so I can use it as a prize for a competition that I'll do next week or whatever? And they would give me like a fridge magnet or a pen that's got Most Haunted written on it or whatever. But the majority of the time, I paid out of my own pocket for a prize and did the what's in the box or did a little quiz. And then I would be paying for the postage as well. And yet, for some unknown reason, people out there thought I was actually getting paid for what I was doing. And you're like, no.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
I was doing it for the fans because you get a break between the season or break between seasons that could last 2 or 3 months long. I had to think of things to do with the fans that were on that page, and there was 54,000 followers on that group. Well, up to the point when I left, and something had to be happening in between the seasons because you'd only get Fred come on in sort of the twilight hours, and he would be coming and going between that. You might get Carl come on and put a few comments, or he might post something on there once in a blue moon, and that was it. And so it was down to me to keep the Facebook group running and keeping the people interested. But it all came out of my own pocket. And in the end, I thought, do you know what? If I'm not going to get any thanks from the person the person that I wanted the thanks from, it wasn't the people that I was doing it for, as in the 54,000 people that were on the group. It was the person whose show it was.
Yeah.
All I wanted was a thank you for doing that from him.
I think
it didn't have to be monetary or a present or something like that. Just that simple word, thank you, would have made all the difference.
I think literally you've hit the nail on the head with certain friends of mine. They have forgotten where they started, and they've forgotten about the people that actually put them where they are now.
Yeah.
And they've forgotten about that little 2 words, thank you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's really got to me is I never knew the paranormal community could be quite as bitchy as it is.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. We all do the same bloody thing. Nobody is an expert in it because no one knows what's actually on the beyond. So nobody can be an expert.
Do you know what? I saw a post today, and I'm not going to slag that person off because you know I don't. That's not.
No, John Gladys. John Gladys, Haunted Collector.
Yeah.
Now and then he'll talk to me on, you know, only on Facebook, and he'll just say, "Oh, well, that was good. That was this. That was this. That, and the other." And you've got the likes of him who's like, "Yeah, that's right," and like Rob and everybody like that. And then you get these minor people who were friends, and what we were just talking about, they forget who their friends were. And you've still got Joe Blogs and myself slogging away at this stuff, not getting paid for it. And we do it because we love it. And that's the difference. You get the guys that do it because they love it, and you get the guys that do it for that. And that's the big difference. And it shows in every show that you do, whether it be radio, Facebook, or YouTube, or mainstream TV. You can see the difference. And it's true, isn't it, mate? You can see the difference between those that do it because they love it and those that do it because they make a wage from it.
Yeah.
We do it. We don't make any money. We do it because we love it.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference.
I mean, years ago, and I'm going back years now because I stopped doing that in 2000. I was part of a band, and we did cover versions. And we were called Past and Present So we literally did stuff like right the way back to like 50s and 60s, or Glenn Miller even. So as early as doing Glenn Miller, right the way through to stuff that was now, which was at the time out now sort of stuff. So like all the 90s stuff and like Robbie Williams' Angels and stuff like that. So we were doing all these cover versions. And even then, never really, it never really got to me. And we were doing gigs that were stupid little gigs. Like with the first gig we ever did was a charity gig.
Yeah.
And we got down there, it had been advertised that we were going to be there, but the actual highlighting act was going to be this guy from a band called Some Other Eden, who were based in Paris.
Oh, yeah.
And this guy had been met at the railway station in Wivenhoe. He'd walked up to this place where the venue was, and we went on for an hour, and then there was supposed to be a little break, and then this guy was supposed to be going on singing his songs. And we'd gone out the back, and we were just, after we'd finished, we were like, yeah, that was quite cool. And I'd been shitting myself up to that point. I even took some calms, and it didn't work.
No, they don't, do they? They don't work at all.
My wife's wife turned around and she said, oh, I've got these calms. Try these. That'll help calm you down. I'm like, right, okay. So I took them, and I did, like, literally up to the moment we were going on stage, I'm like, these tablets didn't work. And the worst part was the first song we had to do was 2 Unlimited's No Limits.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like that big instrumental right at the start. Yeah. We were both standing behind our keyboards. The curtain was closed. And I'm like, oh, shit. What am I expecting? Didn't know who was out there.
Yeah.
And the whole idea was you got the start. And then I then had to say, yo, ready for this? And the curtain opens to me and my mate.
I can't see it. Can you imagine on this show, like the Dark Mirror show? You ready for this?
So of course, when it actually happened, I'm absolutely pooping it. I'll tell you, I had to have a 10 amends, right? I'm standing there. I'm like, oh shit. I went, are you ready then? And he went, come on in. And we started the file because we had backing tracks and we added to it.
Yeah.
So you would have things like the melodic line for keyboards would be missing. And so you'd just have the drum beat and the bass line now. And there'd be me and my mate doing the main strings or whatever. So, of course, I'm like, yo, ready for this? And I went, do. And, of course, the curtain started opening. And I'm like, oh, shit. And I'm just carried on going. I'm like, right, just ignore it. Just keep going. By the time we'd finished our slot, I'd walked off. And I must have counted about 180 people in that room. And I'm like, that's me done. I've got to go and change my pants now. And then this other guy came on. He lasted 10 minutes.
And there you go.
And they got him off the stage and got us back on again. And he was supposed to be the headlining act. We ended up doing 3 hours instead of just the one.
Well, that's like you know, and Jo knows because she's up in near Great Yarmouth, isn't she?
Yeah.
Long time ago, with all the stuff I do, I've been in 2 films, only bit parts. One of them was Jet Li's Unleashed, and you can see, I think it's my fist and my foot. That's it. And I was British lightweight champion. No, literally, it's a bang, and you can see my fist coming like that, and you can see a foot come across. And that's it. I was British lightweight champion in kickboxing, and then I was British cruiser. I think it was cruiserweight. I now put 4 stone on. I can't remember. I think it was cruiserweight, and it was all at Great Yarmouth. They had a big white pavilion there. I was talking to Joe about it. I can remember the white pavilion. I remember we'd stayed in a neighbouring dojo in one of the back streets, and it turns out none of it's there anymore. But this is all stuff that we used to do, and I retired undefeated. And I was the only guy with one hand and one foot that did all this shit and stood up. And the guys I was fighting were like fucking twice the size of me. And they were like, and I'm like this little tiny disabled guy's come on and go, shit. You know, and I've done it. I've gone hell for leather, and I've beaten them, and it was all full contact, you know. And I've gone bang, 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 broken ribs and this all sorts of nonsense. And the only reason I got respect was because at the end of it, when they brought us all back in and said, "Oh, this guy's won," and blah blah blah, I've had the referee, which I didn't know. The referee turned around and gone, You've seen him with all his pads on. This guy's actually got one hand and one foot, and he's just done this, and he's just done this, and he's just done that, and he's come from all the way from Somerset, and I'm like, ah! And I burst into tears. And both times I won British Championships, I just burst into tears. And my old instructor, Kirian Tosky, he was called the Russian Bear, big Russian guy. He was world champion, and he was my old instructor. And he was the one that said to me, "You should be teaching on your own. You need to go on your own, because the stuff that you do in my club, when I said to you, I'll help these guys out, it's not what I teach, but the way you do it, it's all to do with this and working around what you've got." You know?
Yeah.
And that's why I started it. And it was literally down to the Kirian Tosky turning around saying, you should be teaching. And that was it. And I started on my own, and that was it. And it's the same with this stuff. I did all the investigations, and I saw people doing it, and I'm like, "Oh, you sure you should be doing it like that?" And the rude ones that go, "Demons, you will respect my authority," and you're like, "No." That's why this started.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I'd seen a post, I think it was earlier on this morning. Someone had put on there about doing a paranormal event, and there was going to be qualified
There's no qualification.
And I'm like, qualified investigators?
Nobody has. There's no qualification. There's no legal qualification.
Where is a qualification in being a ghost hunter? This was the definition: qualified ghost hunter. I'm like, there's no such thing as a qualified ghost hunter. All you've got is an experienced ghost hunter. That's it. There's nothing else. You're either new to it, or you've been doing it for so many years. You're experienced. There's no such thing as a qualified ghost hunter. And one of my friends had commented on there, "What qualified ghost hunters are these then?" And straight away, the person that had put the post in went,
up.
"You know, you're being nasty. Oh, why do people have to be so jealous?" And they removed her from the group. I'm like, no, she has actually stated a fact that there is no such thing as a qualified ghost hunter. And who are these people that are claiming they are?
Do you get these emails saying, I think it's £25 per diploma, and you can get a diploma in
yeah.
It's like I said earlier about the ones that get famous and bugger off and forget.
I have a friend that paid £40 for a demonology diploma. No, diploma, sorry, not a degree. Paid 40 quid for a diploma in demonology, and all he had to do was read 6 books. What a task.
Nobody can ever in any realm of the paranormal, not even the slightest fucking aspect, no one can turn around and say they are an expert in this, and this, because it's called the paranormal or the supernatural, as in, i.e., above the natural world. We know fuck all about it. You can have people that say, yeah, we know this bit, we know that bit, but there's nobody beyond us that can turn around and say, you are so good, we're going to give you a certificate. Yeah. And it's like with those that have got famous, the likes of Paul Rook, Kerry Greenaway, Carl Hutchinson, still friends now, got famous, doing brilliant stuff with shows, still friends, still come in and say, hey, how you doing? And this, that, the other. But then you get the others who dye their hair a lot, not you, who dye their hair and then go, I'm so famous, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And they go out their way to cause arguments with Joe Public. Because Joe Public is dared say, well, hang on a minute, you've stated this, but nobody is an expert in this. So how can you say this? And like all these people that say demons, and no, stop. Just stop. Just because you've gone
demonology, you know, get a diploma in demonology. It's cost you 40 quid, read 6 books, and you get this lovely piece of card at the end of it.
You know yourself, go to a place where there is a doorway and the veils are thin. That just because there's a doorway, like Skinwalker Ranch, just because there's a doorway or multiple doorways does not mean on the other side of that doorway is a demon.
So I would say if I was to walk into Colchester Library and look up the demonology section and read every single book in that section, would that make me a professor of demonology?
Which goes back to which century?
Any.
Were there people back then
If
that
they-
can turn around and say, you can
If
have
I walked into Colchester Library and they had 30 books on demonology and I read every single one of them, would that make me a professor in demonology? No, it would just make me knowledgeable in the subject.
and
That's
it's
all
like
it is.
and it's like the Dark Mirror radio show. We are knowledgeable in pretty much every single aspect of the paranormal, and that's not meant big-headed. It's not meant we are this, we are that. It's literally because we've done this show. I've done it with Wayne for what, 3 years now.
2 years. I think no, I don't know. It's something like 50. I think this is something like the 53rd show, isn't it? So it'll be a year.
Yes, it is. So
Just
2.5
over a
years.
year. Thereabouts.
No.
52 weeks in a year, Mark.
But we haven't done every single week. Have we?
No, so if you say 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. Shut the fuck up. And then you look at the other stuff I did with Carl. I did with Kerry, and then when it was Carl and Kerry, and it was Paul, Kerry, Carl. Yep. I think this show has been about with me in I think about the last 8 years.
In one guise or another, it has been. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Get off the Christmas tree, you little bugger! I literally turned around and trees going, help me! Anyway, the last 8 years, we've pretty much covered literally every single aspect of the paranormal. But just because we covered it, nobody's an expert. When you get TV series where people go, "Oh, I'm an expert in demons, Mr. Baggins," you're not. You are not an expert. You've literally dealt with a few things where this particular thing has come up. Just because somebody said that it's a demon or some entity has said, "Oh, I'm a demon," doesn't mean it's real. Doesn't mean it's true. It could be something else, and they're literally just fucking around with you. But you get the likes of that, and what we were talking about, the ego kicks in.
I'll give you a name. I'll give you a name.
Well,
Matthew Hopkins.
Oh,
was he or was he not a self-proclaimed witchfinder general?
Do you mean Mr. Baggins' ancestor, who he's now reincarnated as?
Yeah, right. If Zach Baggins if Matthew Hopkins is Zach Baggins' ancestor, why has he never been to Manningtree?
The thing is, I've heard it before and I've seen it before. He's been on shows and gone, "Oh, blah 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 blah." That's my daughter Becky.
Hey, Becky.
Hi.
And there is my prospective son-in-law Sheldon with my granddaughter Taylor.
Hello,
That's Harper.
Right.
Say hello, bro.
You say hello.
Hi, Harper.
There you go. But yes, Matthew Hopkins, Witchfinder General.
Exactly. So, I mean, why hasn't Zach Bagans ever been to Manningtree? Because if that's where his ancestor roamed around taking these witches out, you would have found an episode of Ghost Adventurers filmed in Manningtree.
Zach Bagans has turned around and said, Matthew Hopkins, I can't remember what show it was or whatever. Would you like to see my grandson? Noah.
You do Noah.
He's an elf! He's a baby elf! Wayne.
No,
Ellen.
need to play. No, I can't.
Yeah, we've got 4 kids already. I don't want a 5th.
I think Ellen's ovaries have just exploded. I'm terribly sorry, guys. Matthew Hopkins turned around and said that he was this, that, and the other. And Zach Baggins turned around, I'm sure, in one of his early shows and said he was channeling Matthew Hopkins. I swear he did. And And it's like, no, you're really not. You're just making shit up for TV. Literally. You're a very, very, very good businessman. But when it comes to the paranormal, you're not an expert
The
because
thing is, Zach Bagans has got a lot of money because they get paid in advance for filming their shows. They get rather than with British TV industry, you have to film all your shows, get them all put together, send them off to Ofsted, send them once they come back okay. Yes, Ofsted have to look at them. Not Ofsted, fucking Ofcom.
Oh, no way.
Ofsted.
There's
No, there isn't. Shut up. Ofcom, Ofgem, whatever it is.
Ofcom.
One of these bloody, what do we call them?
Television watchdogs.
Yeah, that's it.
Not Ofsted.
It's been one of those weeks for all
it's been one of those weeks where Ofsted has been mentioned quite a few times.
Don't worry.
But yeah, it has to go to them first, then it has to go to the channel, and if the channel say, yep, that's fine, we pay for it.
That's right, yeah.
Whereas in America, they don't do that. The channel turns around to them and says,
culture over there, isn't it?
Here's a bag of money, go and film it. So
yeah, if you're not going to pay me, I'm going to sue you. So
Zach Bagans could have very easily have just turned around and said, my ancestor is Matthew Hopkins, so next month we're going to be coming from Manningtree, England.
He's full of shit. He's absolutely he really is full of shit. I'm sorry, but
that bloke ain't done a sausage about Matthew Hopkins in England. Why the hell would he be channeling somebody who lived in England all the way over in America?
Did you watch him do the Hellfire Caves in Ireland? I watched him do the Hellfire Caves, and he's literally a tiny little American dude who's come along and he's like, it's just full of arrogance and fire and brimstone, and he's giving it all this, and it's like, dude, stop! You're just making yourself look a little tiny angry guy. And that's it. That's all he's come to us over in the UK and everybody in Europe. He's come across as this little tiny angry American dude who, hang on, is there a demon? That's it. He's like we wear caps like that. This is how you wear them if you're investigating paranormal stuff with Mr. Baggins. Is there a demon? Louis, we're going to Dusty. We got Dust. Is there a demon out there?
You know what it is, don't you? The reason why he wears a baseball cap.
Go on.
If you will look at the peak, it's got his lines written on it. It's got his script. His script's written on the line. You know, his rough script of what he's got to say is written on the peak of his cap.
Zach, if you are not like this is the Dark Mirror radio show. If you want to clear your name and say, oh, the TV series does not govern what I say or how I act, then by all means, you are more than welcome to join us, and we will not tear you a new one.
When this goes on to, when it actually gets posted onto the Facebook page, can you edit that bit out and say, Mr. Baggins, if you want to prove yourself, please invite us over to Las Vegas and we'll come out with you on an investigation.
Mr. Baggins, if you want to prove yourself, then by all means invite the Dark Mirror radio show team, myself and Wayne, over to join you on an investigation, and we'll do our own investigation practices with you. And we'll see what the difference is between your practices and our practices. We don't stir up. We're not rude and we're not arrogant. We don't go, you will do this, you will do that. We're just like, if you're here, let us know.
Can I let you into a secret?
Have you weed again?
No, I'm friends with one of his tech people. On
Which
the show.
one? Which one?
Justin Spurrier.
That's all right. It's all right.
I'll have a word with him and see if he can get us over there.
No. To be fair, I've read a lot of the stuff that these guys. This is my tiny elfin grandchild. This is Noah. Why are you flashing your boobies off to everybody? Look at that. This is Noah, my 3-month-old grandchild. Hello, Noah. Look. If you look over Mr. Wayne's shoulder, you'll see a little tiny elfin Ellen. Look at that. There's elfin Ellen. Look. Hello. You can say hello. You can say. Hello.
Oh, he's cute.
Yeah. You can, can't you? You're looking straight at it. Oh, what's that? Mwah. This is, as you can see, this is my youngest grandson, and I am proud as punch of him. And he looks like he should be an extra from Lord of the Rings. He's a little tiny elfin baby. He's an elfin baby.
Give me my son now.
Why did you take the elf?
Because I went to the toilet.
He's going to do Elf 3, baby.
Leave him alone.
Are you going to say hello to Wayne and his missus? Ellen?
Oh,
Bob down. Bob down.
no.
They can't see because there's a fucking thing there. Bob down. Bob down.
Unfortunately, Becky, you got live 2020-17 going across your forehead, so you had to bob down a little bit.
Lots of people watching. That's my daughter Becky, and that's my grandson. And my granddaughter.
It's
Hang
kind
on.
of pink.
No, leave the fish tank lights alone, please. Happa, are you going to say hello?
No.
Hello.
Nope. Nope.
Nope.
That's your lot.
Right.
You going to bed?
Well, we can go sleep now.
Becky and Taylor look so alike.
Taylor?
Yeah, Becky and Taylor, they look so alike.
While we are sisters, there might be a reason for it.
Oh, sarcasm.
Just joking. Calm down. It's fine.
No, no, darling. Love
You
you.
can go to bed.
Love you.
What's your... Okay. All right. Okay. I'll go.
Stop whinging. Oh, the cat will blixen you.
Okay. Come on. We're gonna
Anyway.
go watch Mommy's phone. Let's go watch Mommy's phone upstairs.
Have you done it? And take the password.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Give us a minute. Just give me 1 minute. Hang on.
Sorry, he's helping me with the babies.
Have you got the password?
No, I don't. I've got
Where'd you put it?
But yes.
What, in the drawer?
Yeah.
So,
I'll be with you in a minute.
Yeah.
Hang on. Have you got the remote? It's your... Oh.
good evening and
What's that?
welcome to the 2337 Evening News.
Are you taking a pic?
No.
Seriously?
Top NASA scientist convinced he saw signs of life on Mars, including worm-like creature.
Oh, you're such a donut.
Gilbert V. Levin put his reputation on the line by insisting he had found evidence of life on Mars and was even ridiculed by some peers, but he stood by his assertions until his dying day. Oddly enough, he did get a picture of this worm-like thing. There it is. Ooh. And oddly enough, I've been saying for donkey's years that there was life on Mars. I'd like to be proven right. But yeah, which is very strange when you read articles and then all of a sudden it comes up as 12 luxurious red wines when you're reading an article about Mars. But apparently it was about the Mars rover, the Viking Mars lander. It added nutrients to Martian soil to detect any burps from microorganisms. Well, so if a microorganism can burp, that means it's got a digestive system, which means there's life on Mars. There you go. Even if it is microbial, but they've proved it. And that was actually issued today. The statement was issued yesterday by NASA. They actually exist. So we were right. And anyway, going back to our subject matter, third picture I showed, how we have different shapes. So one of the popular theories could have been aircraft, but as you can see by those lights there, they're different shapes. It can't be because it was on top of the battlements, apparently, and that was from the photographer himself. So if you look at that, one triangle, one what looks like a beer tankard, and then if we scroll over to the other two, they're almost identical. And the problem there is, as well, if there was light refraction off of a window or something like that. Yeah, I know. I'm speech impediments because I need nicotine. If that's a light reflection, where is the chandelier or the light fittings? If the lights are showing up, then so should the light fittings. You have a light bulb hanging from a ceiling, the light illuminates that as well. So it could be.
Yeah.
So there would be a light fitting there as well, when it's not. It's just the light itself. So we definitely think it could be other aircraft. But it's a very interesting video. I will admit.
I will admit.
I will admit it was an interesting. I just shown people what people are left on you. Oh no, that was the car accident the other day.
Oh, hi, Carl. You all right?
Oh, do you know what? I'm gonna say it.
Go on.
I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife last night. Favorite scene of the whole film.
I haven't watched it yet. No, don't you fucking dare. I'll kick your ass. Don't you dare.
Who is
No.
that?
No. No.
Amazing film.
Carl, we were just talking about people from the past and now. Those of you that become famous and forget everybody, and those of you who still remember where you came from and still remember your friends. And we were talking about yourself, Paul, and Kerry. And we were saying about, we're not going to mention names apart from Zach Bagel, who attributes everything to a fucking demon and doorways and
God, here comes the baseball cap again.
oh my God, it's a demon. You know, as I said before, Zach is a very, 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 very good businessman. But as for turning around and saying that you are an expert in demonology and this and that and the other, no one in the paranormal field is an expert in anything. Sorry? Nobody in the paranormal field is a country file. Fucking donut. Becky?
Sorry, do you also... Hey, I like your hat.
Country foil.
Oh, wow. Brilliant. Do you have a spare... long plug thing that you stick loads of different...
Extension?
That's it. Do you have one of them? You need to plug TV in.
No, because the only one I had I'm using for the Christmas tree lights. Well, then put it on the shelves.
No, I can't. I just had a C-section. I can't carry that.
Oh, bollocks! I'll move it for you when I come upstairs, all right? Do you see this? It's all been peeping over my shoulder. Do you know what that actually is?
That's Finley's bum print.
You know
That's
what?
my...
I thought that looked like a deformed pepper or someone's lungs.
It's
Hang on.
Finley's pumpkin bum print.
It's got a pumpkin. Hang on.
A pumpkin.
That's
I
his
can't
butt.
tell you what else that could have looked like.
That's his butt. That's his foot over his butt, wasn't it? I think you've got one of these as well, haven't you?
No.
Yes, you are. There was one done for you.
No, I don't have it.
There was one done. It's because you haven't gone home yet, you daft bugger. Finley's first bumpkin. Oh, hello, my granddaughter.
To be honest, that looked like someone had overstayed their welcome in Amsterdam.
Dude. That's right. You look at him and you come here. You've got to go, dude. Oh, you got to go, dude. Say it. Go, dude. Go, dude.
Oh.
Oh, she's shy.
She is. Oh my god, you're a fucking monkey.
And
I don't know what she's doing.
you're heavy.
Yeah,
I
can
know,
you get
I know,
down?
darling. I know. Say the night. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Come here. Come here.
You
Come
go,
here.
Granddad.
Be quite safe. Say bye-bye. Oh, say bye-bye.
Bye.
Say that. That's Ellen. Yeah, that's Wayne. And that's Ellen. That's Ellen. Yeah? Yeah. You say, bye-bye! 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 Right, good.
Right, let's go to bed now. I mean, not bed.
Love
Definitely
you.
not. It's not bedtime yet. Okay, let's go upstairs. Jesus Christ! Oh my god!
Go.
I'm going.
Now.
How are you blaming that on me?
Good
That
night.
was you.
Go.
That was you.
Go.
Don't blame that
Go.
on me because your friends were on there.
I ain't gonna beat the shit out of you.
Don't even dare. Don't dare.
What do you mean, yeah?
Can we not have a domestic on a live feed, please?
Love you.
Love you too. Right, hop up the stairs.
No, I was talking Harper, not you.
Right, go fuck.
You stink. Go and fuck yourself. Yes. Right. Anyway. Anyway. This is what I have to put up with. So, what the hell were we talking about? Yes. Egos and stuff. I've always thought that when it comes to us, I don't really think there's that much ego here. I don't give a shit if we become famous. I'm not bothered. We don't make anything of us. All I would love out of this at the end of the day is that TV series on the Paranormal Highway in America, where we're in an RV. Carl Hutchinson will tell you about that. That's all I've ever.
It's like, I mean, okay, Truth Beyond Paranormal is not mainstream. It's Facebook and YouTube. I don't, you know, I'm quite happy plodding along as it is.
Yeah.
Director wants to get it onto on a better platform, so maybe Amazon Prime or Netflix or whatever wants to take us on. I'm not bothered, and if it happens, it happens. But last Friday, was it last Friday?
Don't forget your friends.
Was it last Friday we were at Toby?
Yeah.
Last Friday we went to the Toby Carvery in Colchester.
With the footlong. We all know about you and a footlong.
No, there wasn't a foot long. It was just shed loads of turkey, beef, pork, and gammon.
Probing. Anal probing.
I needed anal probing after eating that carvery. I was farting like a good one afterwards. Too many vegetables. That's what it was. But we had the main course, and obviously the waitresses, they take their sweet time coming around getting dessert orders and whatnot. So we decided to have a cigarette in between. Ellen went out for hers, and I stayed at the table looking after the kids. Ellen came back in. I went back out. And I'm standing there minding my own business to one side of the main door. And this couple came out, and they'd been sitting in the other side of the restaurant having their dinner. And they came out and saw me standing there, and all of a sudden the girl turns around and she said, "Excuse me, are you Wayne Seaton?" And I went, yeah. She said, "You do that show on Facebook, don't you?
Yeah.
What's his face, Beyond Paranormal?" And I went, "Yeah." I went, straight away, the bloke turns around and says, "Oh, can we have a selfie with you?"
Like Rendlesham.
I'm like, yeah, okay.
Like
I'm not going to
Rendlesham.
turn around and say, "Look, bugger off, this is my own personal time." You know, they wanted a selfie. They knew who I was, and they wanted a picture taken. So they took a selfie.
Like Rendlesham Forest.
Quite happy to let them do it. Yeah, like Rendlesham Forest, yeah. Definitely, yeah. You know, and I could do what some of these people that are in that sort of lifestyle do, and just say, "Do you mind? I'm here having dinner with my family," and just told them to bugger off. But I'm like, I'm only having a cigarette, so they'll take the picture. I'll have the cigarette behind me back and smile.
The thing is with this. The thing is with this, I'm always learning, because
We'll always be learning, because there's always something new coming.
It's the paranormal. No one's an expert. You've got people that are knowledgeable in certain aspects. No one's an expert.
No.
We've done the paranormal for years, but both Wayne and myself, we're not experts, but we're knowledgeable in certain aspects. Mine is like cryptozoology and ufology. We've been to certain things where people are going, "Oh my God, it's the alien guy!" Or, "Oh my God, it's Wayne Seddon." "Oh my God, can we have your autograph?" "Oh my God, can we have your photo?" And it's like, yeah, of course you can.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like there's a difference between yes, of course you can, to yes, of course you can. It's £5 a picture. And that's the
Exactly.
difference.
The only time I've ever charged for anything is when someone said, "Can you put my name in your book, please?" When they've brought one of my books, they've said, "Can you sign it to us, please?" I'm going, "Yeah, what name do you want me to put in it?" And then obviously they've paid me for the book. That's the only time I've ever taken money off of someone is when they've wanted to buy one of my books.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're available for birthdays and bar mitzvahs.
And funerals. We specialise in funerals.
Yes, we do actually. Funerals, alien
messages from the dead,
chupacabra bitings, everything. You want to say? All we'll say is we'll try and be there if we can afford it. If not, pay the fuel. But that's literally what everything comes down to. We've always been there. Yes. What the fuck?
I did what you told me to do.
Right, put it on the other shelf.
What's that happened again?
No, it's show me the back of that. Hang on 1 minute.
If I smash that TV,
Right, no, look. What's happened is you put it on the shelf and the back of that's come off, that bit of wood there.
Well, that's not my fault.
So put the TV on the other shelf because it's still got the back on. That's not going to happen.
You want to bet?
It's not going to happen. You and your ponytail, go and try it.
No, it's a bun, my darling.
Oh, it's a bun. You and your... That's not a bun.
You stupid. How is that not a bun?
It's a fucking ponytail.
This is a ponytail.
It's not a pull start for a twat, is it?
Are you stupid?
Come here. What is this? What is this?
I don't know,
we'll get Ellen. Ellen does hairdressing.
What is this?
What my hair was.
What is this?
I'm going to show them what my hair was.
What
like
is this?
What's that? It's a bun.
I didn't see.
It's
It's a bun.
Right? That's a ponytail.
So what's the pull start for a twat?
I don't know, you're the one that said that.
The one with the shaved sides and back and the head.
Shut
the head
up.
over there?
Shut up now. Don't. I don't know what you want about. Just don't.
Anyway.
Right, if I break this shelf, it's not my fault.
No. Put the TV on the other... The one that's up there now, it won't break. That one was pre-broken. I should have warned you. But to be fair, it was more amusing not to. I've as you know, Taylor moved out. Blah 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 blah. I've stripped the room, done the room, and it's like a totally different place now. There's a king size bed, and there's shelves up, and there's TVs and this that and the other.
Yeah.
One of the shelves that where it hooks onto the screw in the wall, the bit of wood on the back of the shelf's gone bing, and she's tried to put it on that one, which I didn't warn her about, and the shelf's gone fuck you, but the other shelf's fine. And and pull start, you know, those people, those jack the lads that go about and they literally shave the sides of their head and the back of the head, and they had this little fuck off ponytail, and then they put it in a man bun right on the top of the head, and it goes, eh. And it looks like a lawnmower pull start. Her ex has one of those. Sam. There's a reason my mum and daughter is up here. Ooh, bad boy in my bad books. Anyway. You know, it's been good fun, and to be absolutely fair, the paranormal world, the last few years, I've done things I would never have dreamt of possible. I've done investigations I would never ever have dreamt of possible. I've made friends I never ever thought. The thing with Wayne is, and we've spoken about this before, I only have a hand. I love your pussy. I only have a handful of friends that I class as true friends. Oh my god, we just had an HD of the cat's chuff. Oh. Yeah, butthole chuff. You're famous.
She's struggling a bit lately. With her back legs, she struggles to take her time getting off of things, so that's why you had a review of her.
Think about what you just said. Carry on. Your hairy pussy has a disdain for climbing on top of things and getting off them and taking its time. Do carry on, Ellen.
I think this is why we're called the Dark Mirror Radio Show, isn't it?
Oh, and by the way, everybody who's messaged me tonight, etc., thank you. Rachel's a lovely girl. She has no idea what she let herself into with me, and we're taking things easy and seeing how it goes. But I have a spring back in my step again, and things.
And hopefully she hasn't come onto this live feed at any point and realised.
No. If Rachel, if you're looking at this now, go away. Fuck off. No, it's not for you. I'll see you on Monday. Well, that's what we were talking about because we went from UFOs to egos, wasn't it? And it's like we
You're
literally.
a poet and you don't know it.
Yes, it's like with Wayne. Do you remember us talking back along about I'm not really a believer in reincarnation because to me personally, it doesn't make a lot of sense. You know all the shit, and then you're like, oh, do you want to be reincarnated? You go, yeah, right. And they go, you're going to forget everything you've done. You've got to relearn everything from your previous mistakes, but you're not going to remember a thing about it, so you don't know. So to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But the option of you can stay on this side, but you'll have a role, and you can dictate how things go, that to me makes more sense. But I'm one of these people that I only have people I call true friends. That for a start, I can't count them on two hands anyway because these fuckers drop down behind the sofa somewhere. You right? Okay.
COVID.
You right?
Yours.
Okay. This is what happens when you've got a chronic masturbation problem. With my funny hand. Oh, look at that. Oh, anyway,
Oh, you're such a clitoris.
she has a name, you know. Incontinentia.
Incontinentia buttocks.
Yes. So anyway, Incontinentia buttocks. Ellen. Oh. Look at Wayne. I love the way Wayne went. I'm not gonna laugh. Fuck it. What I was saying, you know, when you meet somebody, but it's like when in the my thing of people's personalities when in the first few seconds, yourself, Ellen, etc. You meet people and you're like, I knew you long, way back time ago, and that's what I've always said, and I've said to a lot of people. That's what I've with you.
Yeah.
And I only have. If I had two hands, I could say you can count on two hands. But like I say, Wankers Cramp did that. So I only did. I say you could giggle? No, shush. I have a whole bag of shush with your name on it, Scotty.
Do you laugh when I say the name Biggest Dickus?
Centurions, Wyke and Waffley.
Free Roger.
Tis only a flesh wound. Come back, I'll bite your knees. Anyway, I only have. I only have certain people that if I did have two hands, I could say I could count on those two hands that I trust and I regard as good friends. And there's yourself, there's Ellen, there's Joe, and Rachel. Although we've only known each other for a few months, she's one of those people that I've known for a long time. Both my daughters, they're both very, very different, but it's as they've gone into adulthood. Although I've known them all their lives, I've known them for a long time. And you know, when you have certain friends come into your life and you've just got that instant, oh fuck me, I knew you a long time ago. And it's like you miserable bastard. I've known you for a long time. Ellen, I've known for a long time. It's nice to see her with clothes on now, to be absolutely honest. But it's, you know, I've known her for the Roman baths. You were terrible. Oh. And as for him, you know my wife. That's big as Dickers, and there's his wife in Continentia.
Incontinentia buttocks.
Oh, that's it, Incontinentia buttocks. That's it, yes. You know what I mean? And the thing is, when you come into the paranormal world, you will meet people, and their egos are bigger than their personality. That's the right way of saying it, isn't it?
There's quite a few people in the paranormal field I'd like to take to one side, punch them in the face, and say, "Wake up and smell the roses. You're just like everybody else."
I can think of one.
I didn't cough that one.
Two people. I can think of two
Cough
people.
that name.
Kevin.
Oh,
oh! And
do you know at the end of the Muppets when they do Pigs in Space and that voice starts talking and all the crew are all standing up? Where's that voice?
Oh, heaven! Hadlow! What?
Who?
I was clearing my throat.
That's a prime example.
Mm.
When we come off air, I will.
You so fucking know we're gonna.
I have got something to tell you. It is hilarious. You will love it.
But it's also like somebody else, and I'm gonna go.
Oh dear! Someone's put a brolly up in the house.
I'm also gonna go.
Is that the case? Is it? Really?
Does that ring a bell?
Yes. Pansy.
And I'm sorry, but you look at the pictures of the wife and you're like, what the actual fuck? I'm sure Twycross Zoo wants their gorilla back. What are you doing? Yeah? What's that? What? Hang on. Oh, no, it's fine. Don't worry. You just plug in.
She's just a bit of an arsehole when it comes to bedtime.
Don't worry. It's fine.
Thank you.
Right.
Sorry about this.
That's all right. Where's the remote? Have you got the remote? You've got it.
And there's some gum for that.
Just kiss. Did you enjoy yourself?
I did actually. I was really
I
nice.
thought you would. All right. No. Let me put the hall light off.
It's a bit sunny in it.
Put the hall light off and then put the strip light on. Okay. Still turn the light off though, please.
I'll turn the up there.
Bitch, put the fucking hall light off. I said please 3 times. Put the other one. There you go. Look at that. Anyway.
How does it go?
I'm sorry. How could somebody so gay have a wife that's a behemoth?
Hey, you could be watching.
I haven't mentioned that American's name.
That's true. Do you like my brolly, by the way?
I do actually. That's a very nice brolly. I want one of those brollies.
They're
You,
quite,
sir.
they're quite- I won't open this fully because obviously it's supposed to be
No,
bad luck.
don't. No, that's cool. I like that. That is very cool. Taylor
Hello?
May is watching.
Blade Runner film prop.
Yes.
It's the umbrellas.
Yeah. I know.
Those-
You can get them, and they're called lightsaber brollies as well.
Goes right to the end.
Look, dude, what you
And
do
has
with
a
your
little
glowing,
torch at the bottom as well. Look. Ooh.
what you do with your glowing tip is entirely up to you. Taylor is watching us. Taylor, are we going to do a rearview mirror actually at fucking last on Sunday? Say 3 p.m. instead of saying the evening, because it never happens in the evening. So if we say 3 p.m., would you like to do that?
Yes.
Let me know.
Good morning, Taylor. How are you?
She's gone. Hi. Yeah. All right. Well, 3 p.m. every Sunday. Yeah. And we always say this every week. Night. Love you. Love you. So yes. But anyway, what we were talking about tonight, we were talking about UFOs, motherships, and egos. There are a lot of egos from people who got famous for a little bit and then it dropped, and then all of a sudden they do try and take over smaller places, and they try and get on it, and they try and get their shows plugged on it, and this, that, and the other. And as soon as people turn around and go, well, no, you're not fucking doing that, they kick off and they bad mouth. And then when people turn around and go, hang on a minute, no, what are you bad mouthing for? You did this, it wasn't their fault. They don't like it.
Yeah, I think what people need to realise is they are only just people after all.
Isn't it?
They are flesh and blood. They have the same ups and downs as everybody else. It's just their emotional attitude towards everything that needs to change. Because as soon as they hit the big time, they think they're the best thing since sliced bread. And they've just got to remember, the higher up they are, the further they've got to fall.
Yeah, to fall, yes. And we're already at fucking ground level anyway, so we don't care.
Yeah.
And it's literally that. We've got the attitude of, we're here and we do it because we like doing it. We're not trying to make any money at it. And we've said this last hour or so. Nobody's trying to make any money at it. There's no ego here. We're mates, and we're literally two friends doing what we really like doing. And that's it. And we've met so many interesting people around the world. Look at Rob last week.
Yep.
So interesting. And he's come out with all...
We could start a GoFundMe page. There's an original idea.
What, GoFundMe for a Jedi Brolly?
I need a new Greg's Cup. Can anybody donate £2 to the Dark Mirror Cup Fund?
Ladies and gentlemen, you'd actually be surprised at the people that would watch that. Go, ooh. We don't want any money. We're not after any money.
Hijack. There are groups out there that do that. They're standing there saying, we've got to GoFundMe for this equipment and for that. And we need and why? You shouldn't be running a group if you can't afford to sort it out properly. Then you should not be asking people to donate and then ask people to pay the ticket price to go to that event that you've just asked people to donate to in the first place. You shouldn't be running a business of doing public events if that is the case.
Like us, isn't it? Most of our stuff, there's a maximum of like 10 to 20 tickets. The one I'm going on, there was a maximum of 10 spaces, all filled. 4 of them are by the Dark Mirror Show. Another 3 are by
vehicle.
IPP. I can't remember the other name. The other team I'm with, and we've got like 4 guests, I think. We've been invited on a couple of other things, and we've got a private thing coming up where just myself and Wayne have been asked to investigate a rather haunted house in Yorkshire. Not East Drive or any of that stuff. It's a private one. Literally just us have been invited to.
I don't think I'd want to investigate East Drive again.
East Drive's been rinsed, absolutely rinsed. Everybody I've spoken to, Paul, everybody who's been there in the last few months have gone, it's fucking rinsed. It's dead. There's nothing there.
Half of it was all done because of the film anyway. Well, they brought a lot of people. Don't. Yeah.
No, just let me open the back door. Hang on. Oh.
You need to want to get those voice activated back doors. Back door open. What do you mean, Jacqueline? Someone got a vehicle? Oh, Jacqueline, East Drive. It has been done to death, but I personally think that East Drive itself, half of the supposed hauntings that happened there are only being mentioned because it was all part and parcel of the film that was done there. And then obviously with Most Haunted being there and this so-called rope incident and various bits and bobs happening in there, I think a lot of it was all put on because of where it is.
Not the famous podcast picture of the girl above the bed leaping like that from the 70s.
No, I think that is the that's the other one, isn't it? The London one.
No. I'm sure that was. Carry on talking. I'll have a look.
That's not the East Drive one. That's the one down in London. The Christ, not the Epping Forest, is it? It's the other one.
We've done a fucking show on it as well.
Yeah, we have and all, and I can't think of the name of the blinking place now. It's not Epping. Which one is it? Hang on.
Was it Battersea? Enfield, a haunting in Enfield.
Haunting. The one with the girl above the bed is the Enfield haunting.
Yeah.
But
East Drive, I'm still to this day.
It's just boring now.
Well, Paul and the others went down there, and they spent, I think it was 4 days and 3 nights down there, and they all said it's been rinsed. So many people have gone down there. In paranormal terms, for those of you who don't know, when we say rinsed, it means so many teams have been into a place, and they've gone bang, 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 one after the other, and they've not had any space in between. And when you rinse a paranormal place, it literally means that there's been so many teams in there that they've sucked any psychic energy that's been there to allow portals, to allow people to cross over, etc., etc., etc. And it's just sucked it all out. And it gets and you know yourself, we've all been to investigations where it's supposed to be active and this goes on and this goes on and that goes on, and when you go there, it's dead, flat, nothing. And you can go around all the instruments you want. You can go there for 3-4 days in a row, nothing will happen because it's been sucked dry. And that's
it's the same as what Jacqueline says there. I think it's 39 De Grey Street. That's the same.
Yeah.
Been rinsed there. It's just been done to death.
Bless you.
Can you put your hand over your mouth and not use a megaphone next time? What did Steve Guttenberg say in Police Academy? Shit, I'm deaf. That was bloody loud.
I didn't mean to.
Could have muffled it.
I wasn't expecting to sneeze. Did you
To
want
be
me
fair, I have been there when she has muffled a sneeze and has come out the other end, and it's just as fucking bad. She's gone, hey!
Just half an hour goes.
I'm going to bed.
No.
Night. See you guys soon.
I don't know.
Trouble.
But no, I mean, you can, like you say, if you have a haunted location that is constantly being used, the energy doesn't get chance to build up. So anything spectacular that is going to happen doesn't get that opportunity because so many teams are there calling on that energy and extracting the energy from the area, that anything that big is going to happen is going to be a long shot because there's no chance of it happening. You've literally got to put the energy in to get the energy back, and it's not going to happen if you've got too many people in there.
I was going to say, the thing is with people, when we say paranormal locations, it comes under an umbrella. But paranormal locations includes Rendlesham Forest because it's unknown. Nobody, although there's a UFO, it's been seen. We saw UFOs that night. We saw black triangles that night, but none of us know what the hell they were, and so it's unknown. None of us are an expert in it. We know a little bit about it and say, oh, this was here at that time, and it was here at that date, and it interfered with this, and it did this, and it did that. But we don't know what the fuck it was, so nobody's an expert in it.
No, I mean, when I spoke to Rob about my pictures, I sent both my pictures over to Rob. Both the one with where we had the camera light illuminated the area, and one without it on, and it didn't make any difference how you looked at it. There was still nothing within that triangle. And Rob said to me, there is no stars on the other side. It's literally as if something is stopping the lights from the other side of it from coming through. So there is something there.
And the thing is, there have been some naysayers that have gone, fuck, this, all that. No, there was no sensationalism in it. Nobody's tried to, neither myself or Wayne, tried to put off our photos in the paper or anything like that. We've literally, there's been a couple of friends that we've gone, look at this, and what do you think? And to be honest, it could have been very easy for the pair of us to get a statement together. We could have very easily gone to any newspaper in the UK or in the world and said, we visited Rendlesham Forest and we encountered a UFO. And we have the photo to prove it. We could have made money from that. We could have got fame and fortune for reporting seeing a UFO. But we don't know what it was we saw. And it's not about making the money from it. If we ever get famous, it'll be from the show. It's not from, oh, we saw this or we saw that. It's bollocks, mate. It's literally got to come from our gobs. We're rowdy Englishmen doing the show, and that's where it's got to come from. Did we actually put the photos on the group? I don't think we have, because it was supposed to be for Truth Beyond Paranormal, wasn't it? Because it was filming for the episode of that. Right. Well, then you and I put both the pictures you took and I took of the Black Triangle. What you've got to remember, anybody who's watching this, is in the clearing in the forest where the alleged UFO landed in Rendlesham Forest. Yeah. And you've got to remember, we looked back and we could see the original trees, the ones that have been broken and regrown, and new trees. And you could see in your mind's eye the original circle clearing from the trees back in the 80s where this thing had landed, broken no, it's just code. Broken excess amount of trees and had landed. And I think that's right. And the thing is underneath where the UFO landed, wasn't it? Nothing grew. All around it grew, but where the UFO landed, nothing grew. Yep. So we've taken photos and we've looked up in the sky and there's no light pollution, so you can see all the stars. There you go, you can see all the stars in the sky above us. Yeah, where this triangle was, and there was another one on the other side later on in the evening. No stars are inside the triangle. Move it over a bit. There you go, there's one. That's one. The other triangle isn't on that particular photo. It's on this one, which is quite hard to see because it's dark. I don't know how it's going to come out against it. Let's see if I can find mine. There it is. That's the one I sent you. That's my one. No, that's my second photo. Yeah. It's identical to yours, near enough. Hang on. I've enlarged it so you can see the dots. We all know about you enlarging things, mate. Because if I put it back to the original photo, you can't see it. Yeah. No. What? Yes, a picture of the triangle. There you go, look. That's the original picture. Yeah, and that was above us on each side of the clearing, wasn't it? Yeah. Hang on. And there's the picture of little old me on the UFO. Oh, hang on. Here we are.
Tell me about that. I want to see.
Hang on, I've got to find the damn thing. I'm in the Rendlesham Forest pictures. Here we are. You see the 3 dots?
Mm.
I don't know if you can. Oh God! You see the 3 dots?
Yep. Clearly, you see them. Yeah.
That. Hold your phone up with the picture where you saw the stars.
Oh, hang on. I've got to get back up again now.
This was above us on the left as you looked up, and there were 2. There was this one on the left, and you had a mirror opposite of this on the right hand side of the clearing. In between the 2 were stars. You could see all the stars, everything. See, right? You look at mine, look at Wayne's, and you can see all the stars all around.
Yeah.
And that was above the that was in the clearing above us. This was above the clearing on the left, and in that triangle, there's no stars. Look at his picture, lots of stars. Look at that one, no stars. And as I say, we had one on the left, and we didn't see it arrive, we didn't see it leave, and then all of a sudden, one of the cameramen goes, "There's another one on the right," and we looked, and there was literally the mirror opposite of this on the other side of the clearing, wasn't there? And again, help yourself.
No, I believe you. I just think it's cool.
No, help yourself. It's all right. And it's like people say, "Why are you into ufology?" And you got all these people that go, "Oh, there's no aliens, there's no this, there's no that." But if you're going to sit there and go, "We are the only bit of rock in the whole of the cosmos," and you've got to remember that every time you look out and you see a pinprick of light in the sky, for every single pinprick of light that you see, there's supposed to be 2 planets capable of sustaining life. Yes, Wayne, yeah, through the Bracken.
Where is he?
Oh yeah, it was when you were hiding around the other side of the bracket.
So for every single pinprick of light you see in the sky, there's supposed to be 2 planets just like ours. So for anybody on this earth to turn around and go, "Oh no, we're the only ones in the whole of the cosmos,"
No, I don't believe that.
bollocks, mate. No.
The thing is as well is that the what's his face, the second in command of the base,
Yeah.
when he actually went back to Woodbridge after he retired,
Oh, I
he
didn't see that.
openly admitted that RAF Bentwaters had picked up these objects on radar.
That's right. When they came up.
They had stopped over the base at the time. They had actually projected something into the base where they openly admitted they had nuclear capable weapons in storage there.
Right, yeah.
And then it went over towards Woodbridge and stopped in
Lieutenant Colonel Holt. Lieutenant Colonel Holt.
Yeah.
That was his name.
So a lot of the story admits the fact that they, you know, that it actually stopped over RAF Bentwaters and actually extracted energy from those nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
They don't put that in there. They tend to just put the actual forest side of things.
I think personally, because there's been very, very, very similar occurrences throughout the world, and it's always been, as we've said before, it's always been places where there's either nuclear energy or there's been hydro energy.
Yeah.
It's always been they've come along and they've stopped whatever's there. They've gone bang and frozen it all, and it's almost as if they've gone, "You may have this, but you shouldn't have this. And if you do try and use this, we can stop it just like that."
We don't need it.
We don't need nuclear fission at all.
No,
What? My bomb's bigger than your bomb.
We've got the sea and the sun. They're the biggest and most abundant sources of energy on this planet, and yet we're not using it to its full capability.
As we spoke about earlier, because the governments have all the patents to all the free energy engines, and because they are so corrupt and they're all about, "We're going to make money and you can pay us to be a peer. You can donate to our party and we will make you a lord or lady if you donate such and such and such amount." Fuck off.
We paid £65 million to Germany for their crappy old windmills off of the East Coast that have to be switched off every 25 minutes to cool down.
And all government, not just ours, all government is rife for corruption. But to be absolutely honest, ours is one of the worst. And the thing is, it's been showing in the last few years, it's gradually been coming out and it's been creeping out. And it's got to the point now where people are going, the UK is a fucking laughing stock
Yeah.
joke when it comes to government. And you got the likes of Boris Johnson and all this pay for your peerage.
Do you know what though? To be honest, I'm so glad I'm moving to a house where I've got free electricity.
My electricity here, I'm on a pay-as-you-go meter, and I've gone from like £10 a week to I'm spending about £25 a week because it's just gone boing.
Yeah.
I've tried to ring up and I've tried to ring up and tried to ring up and I put them on hold. Well, I think the longest one I've put on hold for was like 4 hours, and they don't answer the phone. And then they wonder when you do get through to them where you're like, you know.
You just turn around to them and say, right, I'm switching to someone else.
I'm actually thinking about doing that.
And then you
so.
give it about a year and they end up being just as bad. So you just keep switching again. It's like insurance companies. You start off with an insurance company, and if they don't reduce your monthly payments, if you've made no claims, then you turn around and you say to them, you're supposed to reduce my monthly payments, not increase them or keep them as they are. So therefore, I'm going with somebody else. I had that for about 3 or 4 years. They kept increasing my premiums, even though I'd never made a claim. So I just turned around to them and say, well, sod you then, I'm going to someone else. And I'd go back on that compare the market and end up with somebody else cheaper. I've been with eShore for the last 3 years now, and they've come down every year, which is how it should be.
Yeah, go on, fuck off.
Thank you.
Good.
Kids.
Yeah.
Whilst you have the governments that are in now, and whilst you have the corruption that's going on now, and it's been nearly 100 years. It's not a recent thing about the free energy stuff. It's turn of the 19th century. In fact, there was a couple that were invented just before the turn of the 19th century, and every single person that invented these filed patents. All the big wigs went, no, we'll buy this off you. We're going to make it famous. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. As soon as they went, yeah, go on then. If you're going to do that, buy it. They bought it and they went, fuck you. And then these people turned up dead. And it's not a one-off. It's not like this person did this. Oh, they died. This person did this. Oh, they died. This person lived. None of them. They all turned up dead. Be it a couple of months, a couple of years later. They all died.
Think, to be honest, when all the natural resources regards to fossil fuels run out, and they've got no choice but to rely on renewable energy, all these patents that disappeared are all of a sudden going to reappear.
And then when people say, hang on,
they will reappear, but they will reappear at a cost, and they will be slightly altered to benefit the energy companies that exist at the moment.
Because people are corrupt.
The likes of BP, Shell, all of these companies, Texaco, and all of these big petroleum companies are all going to be looking at going bust because they can't provide a product. So they're going to be the ones that are buying all these patents, hiding them out the way. They will have their researchers looking into them to try and find a way of being able to release them to the public where there will be a constant cost involved. Because otherwise they're going to go down the pan. They might as well close the companies now because there's no future for them. So by buying out these patents, they can research them, see where they can renew the costs on them, then re-release them, knowing full well that anybody that buys that vehicle with that patent on it, they have got to go to them for a certain part of that vehicle to work.
It's like they always said that you could never, ever invent the perpetual motion engine. It's been invented, I think, about 3 times over. It's been invented slightly differently. And each time they've taken the patent and gone.
Yeah.
And the person who invented it has ended up dead. And each one has literally been based on cars that used to have points. You have an alternator, and these points charged the battery, and then that battery charged the engine, and then that battery charged the engine, and the engine charged the points, and it carried on like that. And that's literally what the perpetual motion engine was about, but a lot less complicated. And each iteration of it that was invented vanished. The guys that invented it died. Oh,
I mean,
they
there's
all- sorry.
there was a video on TikTok a couple of days ago, in fact, a couple of weeks ago, where a guy had got a copper coil, magnet one side, magnet the other side, and where the copper coil, the cables come out either side of the coil, connected it round to a light bulb.
Yeah.
The other side of it connected to a light switch. And it was something to do with the two magnets that once they were put in a certain way, they started spinning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And that magnetic energy sort of conducted through the coil and it powered the light bulb.
And
So-
that's what the energy on the Earth energy is based on that Tesla did.
The problem is that magnets will only hold that magnetic force for a certain amount of time. It's longer than sort of a battery.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the magnet's force will expire at some point.
And all you got to do is fork out for new magnets.
And then you just got to go out and get magnets. But magnets are made of a certain type of mineral metal, which means we're just going to put as much strain on that as what we do with Tesla car batteries and all the other products that we use to manufacture these things. We would then have to devise a way of making a magnet that wouldn't use natural resources.
Yep. And it's like we said about Tesla's stuff that all of a sudden vanished and got hidden. And the engine that runs off was it a cup of water? I think it was a cup of water. Yeah. It's out there. It's been invented. It's already been done. But all of a sudden, these people turn up.
And all it is because someone's looked at a steam engine and looked at how it can be made into a compact version to have in a car.
Yeah.
And they've done it. And then straight away, BP comes along and goes, oh, we'll give you X amount. And they've gone, oh, lovely. Thank you very much.
And then they died.
And then, oh, dear. That's mysteriously disappeared. And then that poor person that invented that in the first place has gone, well, why haven't they released it yet? Why haven't they released it yet? And then all of a sudden, something mysteriously happens to them.
Yep. Even with the 0 point energy that we have literally discovered in the last year, there have been things that have been let slip and things that have been sent that explains 0 point energy, where it comes from, how it's done, etc., etc., etc. Comes from reverse engineering certain crafts, and when we are never ever, unless you get a big UFO turn up above every single major city and go, we're here. Hello, you guys down there. You've had our patents. What are you doing with them? You've had our designs for engines. You going to do anything with them? And it's only if that happens that the governments are going to go, oh, bloody hell, is that what that is? You know?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're never, ever going to have an honest politician. You're never going to have the truth. It literally needs those, unless you get the guys in the sources turning up and going, behave. It's the only way it's ever going to happen, unfortunately. And on that note, I think we should call us a night and go to sleep. Do you?
I don't know about calling it a night.
I'm there with like saying no, Snorri.
Now, well, I've got to I've got to how's it go?
I have no idea.
I've got to prepare myself. I have to do my exercises and my meditation to try and keep myself up a little bit longer now, because I have to get myself tuned ready for tomorrow night. Sorry, tonight.
I'm going to take my tablets and go to bed.
Well, I don't know what time I'm coming back tomorrow, because obviously I'm doing this thing down in South Endway. I'm not too sure how long we're going to be down there for. So.
Okay, well, send me a message, let me know how you're doing, and send us lots of interesting photos. Oh, and if you're down South Endway, keep your eyes to the sky.
Well, I tried keeping my eyes to the sky yesterday evening, and then realised that the actual lunar eclipse was in the morning, not in the evening. Yeah. And I wonder how many people in the UK actually thought of looking out their window in the evening thinking that was when the eclipse was going to be.
I looked out my window and I was messaging you when I go, what the fucking. It's the first, we're doing a show tonight on the eclipse. It's the longest one in 600 years, and then he goes, no, it was this morning.
Yeah. The height of the eclipse was it just gone 9 o'clock this morning, and at that time the moon was just going below the horizon.
Yeah.
So we'd all missed it anyway. The next, I think it was only supposed to be. A lot of people had said, "Oh, it's a blood moon. It's a blood moon." Well, apparently, no, it wasn't. It wasn't going to be a full blood moon simply because it's a partial lunar eclipse. The next full lunar eclipse is the 16th of May next year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And that will be seen in the UK. The next lunar eclipse after that will not be able to be seen from the UK.
Bloody typical, isn't it? Do you remember?
I can't remember what the date is of the other one, but the actual full lunar eclipse is the 16th of May, so that will be a blood moon.
Do you remember? I think it was 2000 when we had the solar eclipse, and everybody was out on the back doorstep with their sunglasses over their cameras taking photos. I was one of them, and I can remember when the eclipse happened. I was a new dad then. Becky was a baby, and 2000. It was before Taylor was born, so Becky was a baby, and my ex was like pregnant. And I can remember standing on the back doorstep of where we lived in Somerset, and literally there was bird song and everything, and he went.
She went dead quiet.
And she came out on the back, and it was literally like Mad Max Desert Wasteland. It was sepia. Bird song stopped. Probably because she just stood on the back doorstep. I don't know, but everything stopped, and I got my sunglasses, put them over the camera, took some photos. That was brilliant.
I was doing loft insulation down in near Chelmsford, Danbury, and we were actually gone into this house. I knew that it was going to be the solar eclipse. I'd even got the glasses so that if I was outside at the time when it happened, I'd be able to have a look.
Yeah,
but we'd got a lot of work on. I think we had to do something like 4 lofts in one day, and so we'd gone into this loft. We started putting the quilt down, and we went back out to the van. And when we walked outside, it was like, hang on a minute, something ain't right. My mate's gone, "Whoa, what's going on? We ain't been in here that long, and it's dark already." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you dumbass!" And he went, "What?" I said, "It's the eclipse." Oh, he goes, "Oh, thank God for that. I thought I was going to be late home for my dinner." And I'm like, "Really? You seriously think we've been in this house for 8 hours?" and I'm just like, "Nah, you can't make them that stupid. I really can't."
Have you ever met my ex-in-laws?
No, I've got my own ex-in-laws.
Is it like an episode of Chorlton and the Wheelies?
No, it's worse. It's like an episode of Rainbow. Jeffrey. Jeffrey's being an asshole.
Did you ever see the adult episode they did?
It's a bit like watching Hale and Pace when he's in hospital.
All night. Right?
It's a bit like watching Hale and Pace when one of them's in hospital with a banana.
Oh, God. We know a song about that, don't we? Hello, Billy. Hello, Johnny. 1 skin, 2 skin, 3 skin.
I'm going to have to move place now because my iPad's about to die.
That's right. I'm going to bugger off to bed anyway because I need to take my tablets and then bugger off. Yeah. I'm off.
We can end the live and then have a quick little chat afterwards, and then
we can. I was going to say, if you want to do a show in the week, you're more than welcome to, because I'm off at the moment until I get put on a new run. So, I will be about. I'll tell you about that in a second. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching and listening and joining in and being there. And we wouldn't do it without you guys. So thank you very much. Not next Friday, maybe in a weekday.
What the hell's happened now?
Not
My
this.
iPad
Not
just switched the camera off.
no. Fucking no. Next Friday, he's got the Men in Black watching him. Not next Friday, because next Friday I am away watching Rocky Horror Picture Show on
Boys to
stage.
Men.
Yes, Boys to Men. Fuck off.
They come on tour.
I'll be watching the Rocky Horror Picture Show dressed up in costume. So we'll try and do a show in a week. But anyway, thank you for watching us, and lovely to have you as always. See you soon.
Bye all.
No, we're straight, but thank you for asking. See you later.